Chapter 1687. Whoosh. Xiaoping sat down cross-legged and took a deep breath. He used the Panwu Sutra and immersed his consciousness into his primordial spirit. Whoosh. Immediately, he sensed that his primordial spirit had appeared in the depths of the Purple Mansion. This space was endless, and he couldn't see the end at all. It was filled with purple, chaotic air currents. The Purple Mansion was just a small world in this boundless world. This was the true sea of consciousness. It was boundless and as vast as the universe. Anyone's sea of consciousness was boundless and had limitless potential. It was just that ordinary people could only open up a small space and couldn't use it all. Boom! In an instant, Xiaoping's Purple Mansion shook. Countless streams of information flowed down from the void. They were golden talismans that quickly gathered together and formed a huge golden axe. The huge golden axe contained terrifying sharpness. It appeared in the chaos and seemed to be able to easily split the chaotic air currents in half. This was the Panwu Sutra's Panwu Sutra's Panwu Sutra's Panwu Sutra. Only by forming this huge axe could one split primordial spirit. Split. Xiaoping moved his mind, and the huge golden axe in the depths of the Purple Mansion immediately chopped towards his primordial spirit. With a dong, his primordial spirit was instantly split in half. Immediately, the primordial spirit that was originally the size of a person became 2.5 the size of a person. The Panwu Sutra axe had already split his primordial spirit in half. I'm really injured. Xiaoping could sense that his primordial spirit had suffered a moderate injury. It was as if there was an additional wound in the depths of his primordial spirit. If he didn't treat it, it would probably cause irreparable damage. Refine. Without hesitation, he immediately took out the angelic crystals on him and instantly refined the 3 angelic crystals. A large amount of soul energy rushed into the Purple Mansion and poured into the 2 primordial spirits. With the nourishment of the angelic soul energy, the primordial spirit's injuries also recovered at a visible speed. Even the 2 primordial spirits that were half the size of a person grew like balloons, becoming the size of a normal person. He felt that the weakness in his primordial spirit disappeared without a trace. Replacing it was a sense of fullness and satisfaction. Open up. After stabilizing his 2nd primordial spirit, Xiaoping swiftly carried out the 2nd step of his plan, which was to open up a new dimension within his Violet Palace. This was because every primordial spirit could only live in one Zifu space, and the new primordial spirit needed to live in a new Zifu space. This was just like giving birth to a son. In the future, when he grew up, he also needed a new house to form a new family. Boom! The 2nd primordial spirit appeared in the depths of the sea of consciousness. It held the Panwu splitting axe and gave off a powerful aura. It fiercely chopped at the chaos, instantly exploding with a terrifying power, sweeping up endless storms and rumbling sounds. In an instant, the region within a radius of several thousand kilometers was split open. The chaotic air currents in the surroundings flew into the distance, forming an empty and quiet space. A chance. Xiaoping's eyes revealed a trace of light. He knew that this was a great opportunity. He revolved the magic power in his body and poured it into this new space of the Z Kingdom. In just a moment, a large amount of magic power also rushed into this space. This magic power transformed into a liquid and flowed inside, turning this space into a vast lake. Rumble. Xiaoping communicated with the dimensional space and opened dimensional passageways, swallowing and spitting out a large amount of energy. As if he was filled with wisdom, he crazily swallowed the energy, and the newly opened space also began to tremble. A large amount of turbulent energy rushed in, quickly turning into magic power. The lake of magic power also rapidly expanded, and it began to spin rapidly, forming a huge whirlpool. Under his control, the whirlpool of the lake spun faster and faster. When it reached a certain speed, it was like an awl drilling into the depths of the chaotic void, continuously opening up the chaotic void. In an instant, The depth of the lake deepened by more than 1,000 times. Even the area of the lake increased rapidly growing into a boundless sea, swallowing and spitting out the chaotic air currents in the surroundings. The sea was still spinning slowly, and the whirlpool in the depths of the center was extremely powerful. It was even slowly becoming stronger, causing the area of the sea to expand in all directions. The color of the seawater became deeper, and the magic power it produced became purer. Whoosh! The second primordial spirit's figure flashed, instantly merging into the center of the sea. It was as if, at that moment, it had become the god of the sea, the absolute ruler of this space. The entire sea suddenly quietened down, as if the storm in the sea had been calmed by the gods. Because of the integration of the primordial spirit, a space barrier also appeared in the space. It was as if the foundation of the space had been successfully forged, completely stabilized, and isolated from the outside world, forming a new purple mansion space. It's a success. Xiaoping's eyes were filled with excitement. Although he had already understood the Panwu scripture, before he succeeded, he would always be worried that something unexpected might happen. Now that everything had ended smoothly, he could not help but let out a sigh of relief. This was enough to prove that the Panwu scripture was definitely the real thing, and that it was priceless. He felt that his primordial spirit was twice as strong as before. Although it was only a second primordial spirit, at the crucial moment, it could also merge into one, becoming even more powerful. At the same time, his magic power was twice as strong as before, and he had a second purple mansion space. However, the creation of the third primordial spirit, the fourth primordial spirit, and so on would also be a tough battle. This was because every time he created a primordial spirit, the amount of soul energy needed was twice as much as the previous one, and so on. When he created his ninth primordial spirit, the amount of soul energy needed was simply an astronomical figure. Fortunately, Xiaoping had obtained a large number of angelic crystals, most of which were from Dharma plane angels, and there were even 2 crystals from Thunder Calamity plane angels. These angelic crystals contained more than 1,000 times the energy of the Restoration Realm angels. In particular, the energy contained in the Thunder Calamity plane angelic crystals couldn't even be compared to all the Dharma plane angelic crystals. And most of the Restoration Realm angelic crystals added up couldn't compare to one Dharma plane angelic crystal. After all, the difference in soul energy and quality between each major realm was like heaven and earth. In fact, when the Panwu Saint cultivated the Panwu scripture, he did not succeed in one go. He spent tens of thousands of years to accumulate the resources to cultivate the Panwu scripture. This was a very time-consuming cultivation method for rich people, and only rich people could afford to cultivate it. Even the direct descendants of the saint's family would probably go bankrupt if they wanted to cultivate this cultivation method. However, since Xiaoping had these resources, he naturally didn't need to waste a lot of time. He could directly cultivate it. But with the experience of success the first time, the second and third time would naturally succeed. The time that Xiaoping spent in seclusion this time also exceeded his expectations. In an instant, half a year had passed. Chapter 1688. Rumble. When the ninth primordial spirit successfully created the ninth purple mansion, Xiaoping's body trembled. The entire space in his sea of consciousness was completely stabilized. The 9 purple mansion spaces and the 9 primordial spirits were distributed in 9 different places in the sea of consciousness, each occupying a corner. His main body naturally occupied the center of the sea of consciousness. Vaguely, the 9 purple mansion spaces formed various strongholds. There were mystical Taoist marks that intertwined and resonated with each other, forming a Panwu formation. It was as if Xiaoping could instantly fuse the 9 primordial spirits into one and turn into Pangu. At that moment, he had a premonition that no matter how strong his primordial spirit was, it would be impossible for him to create the 10th primordial spirit, because 9 was the limit. 9 primordial spirits was also the limit of a human soul. If he were to create one more, his entire primordial spirit would collapse, and he would become a mindless lunatic. Therefore, it wasn't always better to have more primordial spirits. If there were too many, it would disperse the intrinsic power of the primordial spirit, causing it to weaken and its foundation to be damaged. It would be impossible to improve. I'm too powerful now. Xiaoping clenched his fists. He could feel the powerful mana in his body. It was almost emitting, distorting the air and causing the ground to tremble slightly. His mana was already terrifyingly dense. It was more than 1,000 times that of an ordinary human. Now that he had created 9 purple mansion spaces, the mana he could contain was even more terrifying. Even a divine beast would be dumbfounded and find it unbelievable if they saw his current situation. That was because they couldn't contain so much mana. Even if a divine beast of the same level appeared in front of him, he would probably be able to use brute force to beat it into minced meat and make it his dinner for the night. Even though his martial arts realm didn't improve much in the past half a year, the improvement in his combat power was incomparable. It was a qualitative improvement. He could fight 10 of his previous selves now. Dong! Xiaoping pointed his finger lightly and hit the ground. A terrifying force blasted out and condensed into a substance. It was like a peerless sword chi that instantly pierced through the ground for thousands of kilometers. It was as if the earth couldn't withstand the power of his body. Shocking cracks appeared and completely separated, forming a huge abyss that was so deep that the bottom couldn't be seen. Bang! He jumped up from where he was and stomped on the ground with both feet. Immediately, a crater that was dozens of kilometers deep appeared. The surrounding ground was shaken to the point where dense cracks appeared like spider webs. In an instant, he leaped thousands of meters into the air. Like a cannonball, he easily leaped over the mountains, almost reaching the peak of the sky. Furthermore, this was just the explosive power of his body, not the use of magic power. Just the strength of his body alone was enough to tear apart mountains, sink continents, and reverse rivers. Whoosh! Xiaoping gently descended from the sky, feeling his surging power, his heart filled with gratitude. Of course, his improvement in the past 6 months was not as simple as just increasing his magic power and strength by 9 times. His endurance had undoubtedly increased by thousands of times as well. The 9 great violet mansions grew and multiplied endlessly. They revolved unceasingly like 9 great stars, forming a complete galaxy. The speed at which they breathed in and out the world's origin energy was countless times faster than before. If someone wanted to exhaust the magic power in his body, then that would be the ravings of a lunatic. Even if the other party died of exhaustion, they would not be able to see the day when the magic power in his body dried up. The power of my primordial spirit is so powerful. Xiaoping sensed that each of the 9 primordial spirits in his body was as powerful as the previous one. If they merged, the soul power they could release would not be as simple as 1 + 1. If he cultivated with the 9 primordial spirits at the same time, his efficiency would be 9 times that of an ordinary cultivator's. Of course, forming the 9 primordial spirits came at a great cost. He had used up all the angelic crystals he had under the tribulation lightning state, and even 1 tribulation lightning state angelic crystal. Only then did he manage to form the 9 primordial spirits. In other words, he only had 1 tribulation lightning state angelic crystal left. The rest had been devoured. He couldn't even imagine how Saint Pan Wu succeeded in cultivating the Pan Wu Sutra, and how he gained such a great amount of resources. After all, Saint Pan Wu didn't have as many trump cards as he did. When he was at the Golden Core stage, he killed a bunch of powerful angels with a scheme and obtained a large amount of angelic crystals. Most importantly, Saint Pan Wu probably couldn't remove the impurities in the angelic crystals, and he probably couldn't devour the pure soul energy in the angelic crystals either. Even if he had angelic crystals, it would be useless. Connect to the dimensions. Xiaoping immediately activated the power of his primordial spirit. He found that his primordial spirit was much more powerful than before. Even without the help of the world tree, he could still sense the terrifying energy in the depths of the dimensions. Immediately, the dimension of fire, dimension of ice, dimension of lightning, dimension of storm, dimension of earth, and so on appeared in his nascent soul's perception. Every dimension was mysterious and powerful and contained endless energy. If a tiny bit of that energy exploded, it could destroy a galaxy and countless planets. Whoosh! At this moment, Xia Ping's 9 primordial spirits flew out of his body and stood in the air. They hovered between illusion and reality, faintly emitting divine might. The 9 primordial spirits formed seals with their hands, and a great formation appeared. The void trembled slightly, and in an instant, it connected to the dimensional world. 9 black holes appeared in the void, and each black hole was the size of a bucket. They directly opened up 9-dimensional space passages. Immediately, waves of terrifying energy brewed in these black holes, as if they were about to surge out. They kept rolling and giving off a frightening aura. This energy was too powerful and violent, and it was infinitely destructive. If this energy was released without regard for the consequences, it could instantly destroy a planet or a continent. If Xia Ping encountered an undefeatable enemy, he could immediately connect to the dimensions and release the dimensional energy to destroy everything. This was a powerful trump card. Ordinary returning truth cultivators couldn't do this at all. After all, just connecting to the dimensions was already enough to kill them, let alone opening the dimensions and letting the energy inside pour out. Even a slightly more monstrous cultivator could only open a dimensional passageway the size of a thumb, and they could only maintain it for a few seconds. This little amount of time and the size of the passageway could not cause any effective damage. Chapter 1689. At this time, on the other side, in the space of the Pearl of Mountain and River, Qiuxiu, Nangong Wu, and Sumei also stayed in the space of the Pearl of Mountain and River for half a year, but they did not just sit in this place with nothing to do. There were a lot of resources in the space of the Pearl of Mountain and River, such as crystal fragrant rice, golden corn, and other spirit grains, as well as countless precious medicines. These things were priceless in the outside world. Even the direct descendants of the super families had to pay a high price to enjoy them. Not to mention, these resources seemed to be free in the space of the Pearl of Mountain and River. They were completely treated as daily food, as their daily food. Moreover, there was a Taodai that ate and drank like crazy, consuming dozens of tons of food every day. They trembled with fear when they saw it. Just the daily food alone was not something an ordinary family could afford. If it was not for Xia Ping, anyone else who wanted to raise a Taodai would go bankrupt in a few days. With the help of a lot of resources, Qiuxiu, Nangong Wu, and Sumei's cultivation also advanced by leaps and bounds, faster than before. They had already advanced to the late stage of the treasure refining realm, and were about to break through to the true fire realm. Also, eating a lot of spirit grains as food also filled their bodies with spirituality, purifying their blood, improving their qualifications, and obtaining endless benefits. They could even enter the virtual network at any time and find masters from all over the universe to fight and increase their combat experience. This was many times better than when they stayed in Mingyue Court. After all, in Mingyue Court, there was scheming everywhere. Every time they fought for resources, they had to be on guard against their senior and junior sisters. It was very tiring. How could they be as happy as they were now? This place is simply heaven, Sumei said emotionally. She felt that she had been decadent for the past half a year. She almost felt that the universe was a very beautiful and safe place, and she did not have much vigilance. The entire space of the Pearl of Mountain and River was built perfectly. It was completely different from the Pearl of Mountain and River that Xia Ping had just obtained. After a lot of resources, this space was no different from a real world. It was surrounded by farmland with a lot of spirit grains, a world of spirit medicines, and many lush forests. The spirit of heaven and earth was extremely rich, and it could be called a holy land for cultivation. And where they were, Corinne had used nanoengineering robots to build a huge human town with power generation, water conservancy, sewage works, and so on. It had all the modern facilities, and it could be said to have everything. Of course, there weren't many people in this town, no more than 100. Compared to Mingwe Court, this place is indeed heaven. I don't know where he found so many treasures. It's simply incredible. Qiuxiu agreed and was very emotional. She was no longer a rookie who had just entered the universe. She had been in Mingwe Court for several years and was well aware of the value of these resources. Golden corn, crystal rice, and the like were all priceless. Eva's super family would not be able to afford such extravagance. Putting everything else aside, even a saint's family wouldn't dare to say that they were raising a Tao Tai. This was purely the behavior of a prodigal son who had too much money to spend. If a member of a family dared to do such a thing, the next day he would be chased out of the family by the angry elders of the family. They had never seen such a wastrel. However, Xiaoping dared to do such a thing. Moreover, he raised a Tao Tai effortlessly. If anyone knew about these things, they would definitely be dumbfounded. Aha! Not only is this heaven for cultivation, but it is also a heaven for men. I didn't expect that bastard Xiaoping to be so corrupt. He even has dozens of female slaves. Nangong Wu gritted her teeth. She was so angry that her teeth were itching, and her beautiful eyes were spitting fire. She knew that there were many female slaves in the space of the Pearl of Mountains and Rivers. They were all from various major races in the universe, such as the Angel Clan, the Elf Clan, the Rabbit Clan, the Luohan Clan, and so on. The girls of each race were very beautiful, and there were dozens of such girls. One could imagine Xiaoping's daily corrupt behavior. One absurd guy. This was no space for cultivation. It was clearly this beast's harem, a place where he would do that. When she thought of this bastard doing nothing good all day, especially capturing slave girls, she was furious. That bastard had never seen him do anything serious. He may not be so easy to deal with. In my opinion, those girls seem to be still young. Sume giggled. They're still young for now. That's just because he's very busy and doesn't have time. When he has time, you can see if those girls are still young. They must have been ruined beyond recognition. There are so many children. Nangong Wu gritted her teeth. Sume and Qiuxiu were both speechless and couldn't refute. According to that pervert's character, how could he not eat the meat that was already in his mouth? They had never seen a wolf that didn't eat meat. Boom! At this moment, the entire space of the Pearl of Mountains and Rivers shook, causing a huge tremor. What's wrong? What happened? Nangong Wu was shocked. For the past 6 months, the space of the Pearl of Mountains and Rivers had been calm and peaceful. There had never been any accidents. Why did it suddenly shake so violently? Look, there are 9 black holes in that mountain range. It seems to have triggered the power of the dimensional space. Qiuxiu squinted her eyes and looked into the distance. She sensed that the 9 black holes contained a terrifying energy storm. There were flames, ice, lightning, earth, water, and other dimensional energies. These energies were extremely violent, majestic, and beyond imagination. Once these energies from the dimensional world poured out, everything within a radius of millions of kilometers would be destroyed. It could be said that this was the true power of destruction. It was terrifying. Isn't that where Xiaoping is in seclusion? Sume recognized that it was where Xiaoping was. Such a shocking aura. Could it be that he has come out of seclusion? He has successfully advanced to the returning nature realm? Nangong Wu guessed. In fact, seclusion for half a year was long enough. No matter what kind of divine technique he cultivated, there should be a result. He must have successfully advanced to the returning nature realm. Qiuxiu nodded. This is the power of condensing the primordial spirit and communicating with the dimensional space. Other than the returning nature realm experts, no one can do it. It is an ability that perfected Golden Core can't reach. She had read many cultivation secret manuals in the Moon Pavilion. Naturally, she knew the magical power of the returning nature realm experts. What shocking aura! Sume's beautiful eyes revealed a hint of brilliance. I have also read many ancient books, but I have never seen a perfected person of the returning nature realm open such a huge dimensional channel. This is almost triggering the energy of the dimensional space. I think even the Transcendence Realm experts can only do this. As expected of Xiaoping, the dimensional channel has disappeared. It seems that his seclusion this time was very smooth and successful. Qiushu also noticed that the 9-dimensional channels had disappeared quickly. The strange phenomenon that caused the heaven and earth to change color had also disappeared. Everything returned to normal. Whoosh. Chapter 1690. Xiaoping. When Qiushu, Nangong Wu, and Su Mei saw Xiaoping coming in front of them, they were shocked because Xiaoping's aura was really too strong. If it was before, they could barely feel the gap between them and Xiaoping and felt that he was like an insurmountable mountain, but now it was different. They could no longer see the gap between them and Xiaoping. They could only feel the greatness of the two, which was the only way to describe it. He was like a god, beyond imagination. In fact, they had seen many Dharma Plane elders of Mingyue court, and they were also unfathomable, but they could not compare to the current Xiaoping. They were not on the same level of strength. I haven't seen you for half a year, and you've gained a lot of weight. Xiaoping touched his chin and looked at Qiushu and the others. Who's fat? Shameless. Qiushu, Nangong Wu, and Su Mei spat at Xiaoping. They were so angry that their teeth were itching and their faces were flushed red. They hadn't seen him for half a year, and they thought that Xiaoping would say something. They didn't expect him to say that they were fat the moment he opened his mouth. How preposterous! However, they were very guilty. They had been eating and drinking well in the pearl of mountains and rivers for half a year, and they lived like princes. When they were free, they planted flowers and plants. Maybe they really could gain weight. Oh, in the past half a year, what have you thought about it? Are you going to follow me or travel alone? Xiaoping looked at Qiushu and the others, wanting to ask their plans. You're still asking us what we're going to do. Nangong Wu gritted her teeth and stared at Xiaoping. You made us leave Mingyue court and become traitors. We have nowhere to go. Do you want to leave just like that? You must take responsibility for this. Qiushu and Su Mei also stared at Xiaoping, making it clear that they were determined to follow him. Okay. Xiaoping nodded. Then you will follow me back to Qinquan sect and change your identities. Join the Qinquan sect as my maidservants. I believe no one will dare to not give me face. Qiushu and the others all knew of Xiaoping's identity in the Qinquan sect. He was the disciple of a saint, someone who stood above everything and was comparable to the sect's elders. Moreover, he had displayed exceptional talent. So who would dare to not give him face? It could be said that Xiaoping's days in the Heaven and Earth sect were much more comfortable compared to them. The moment he entered the sect, he ascended to the heavens in a single step. No one dared to obstruct him, and all of them would go up to fawn over him. Comparing oneself to others was truly infuriating. Why was this baddie living so comfortably while they were in such a miserable state, often scheming against each other and having harem fights with their senior and junior sisters? They were very indignant. They were too indignant. Of course, you're just maids on the surface. In reality, your treatment is similar to that of Qinquan sect disciples. You can enter and leave Qinquan planet at will and stay on my Yin Huang Peak. Xiaoping said, from now on, you can use Yin Huang Peak as your base of operations. No matter where you go on an adventure, there won't be any problems. Furthermore, you can also contact Suji, Yu Chi-Chi, Jiang Yaru, and Churong. They all happen to be in the same sect. Yes, I understand. Qiushu, Su Mei, and Nangong Wu all nodded to show that they understood. At present, it seemed that Xiaoping's plan was the most appropriate. Although they had left Mingyue court, they had joined the Heaven and Earth sect, so it was not a big loss. Moreover, they had Xiaoping, a disciple of a saint, as their backer. They believed that no one would dare to provoke them. In the future, their days in the Heaven and Earth sect would probably be many times more comfortable than in Mingyue court. All right, then let's go back to Qinquan planet. I haven't been back for a long time. Xiaoping immediately said. A few days later, the stars crossed countless galaxies and finally arrived at Qinquan planet in the Eastern universe. It quickly landed on Yin Huang Peak, where Xiaoping lived. The cabin door opened, and Xiaoping and the others walked out of the spacecraft. Is this the headquarters of the Heaven and Earth sect? The aura is indeed no less than that of Mingyue court. Qiushu, Su Mei, and Nangong Wu walked out of the cabin and looked around. They could sense the rich spiritual chi of heaven and earth on this planet, as well as the powerful restrictive formations, which made their hearts palpitate. They were also amazed. It seemed that the strength of the Heaven and Earth sect was no less than that of Minghui court. They might even be stronger to a certain extent. They could also see the true strength of the Heaven and Earth sect. After all, every saint-level sect had a super trump card that they would not use unless it was a critical moment. However, in terms of ruling the galaxies, the Heaven and Earth sect occupied 6 major galaxies, while Minghui court only occupied 3. It was obvious that the Heaven and Earth sect was twice as powerful as Minghui court. Otherwise, they would not have been able to rule over 6 major galaxies. Master, who are these people? At this moment, the servants on Yanhuang Peak walked over and greeted Xiao Ping respectfully. Then, they looked curiously at Qiu Shue and the other unfamiliar women. Yes, they're my personal maids that I brought back from my travels. From now on, they will be members of Yanhuang Peak. Bring them down to register their identities and arrange their residences. Xiao Ping said casually. Personal maids. Many servants had strange expressions as they looked at the 3 stunning women. They also had their own plans. Although they were personal maids, in reality, they were his concubines, the future mistresses of Yanhuang Peak. However, for the direct disciple of the Heaven and Earth sect and the eldest disciple of the Dark North Saint, it was natural for him to have a few concubines. As long as Xiao Ping was willing, he could even have a harem of 3,000 beauties. Once he opened his mouth, who knew how many kingdoms' princesses would rush over and offer themselves to sleep with him? Yes, master. These servants did not say much. After receiving the order, they immediately went to arrange the residences of Qiu, Nangong Wu, and Su Mei. At this time, the news of Xiao Ping's return to Yanhuang Peak had spread throughout the Heaven and Earth sect. Many people knew about it. At this moment, on a mountain peak, that was where the 3 great elders of the Ma clan lived. They were Ma Guwei, Ma Xingping, and Ma Mingho. They were all Transcendence Realm experts. Yes, that kid Xiao Ping is finally back. I have waited for a long time. The Heaven Accessing Secret Area is about to open. I was really afraid that the kid did not return a Heaven and Earth star and directly went to the Heaven Accessing Secret Area. To be able to return at this time, even the heavens are helping us. That kid just joined the Heaven and Earth sect not long ago. It is really a waste to go to the Heaven Accessing Secret Area. His supreme token should be given to me so that it will not be wasted. Let's go to Yanhuang Peak and ask him for the supreme token. But what if the kid refuses? We can't make a scene at Yanhuang Peak. After all, Dark North Saint is his master. Dark North Saint will not care about this kind of thing. Moreover, he is still in seclusion and cannot make a move. When he comes out of seclusion, what is done cannot be undone. He will not be able to do anything. But this will offend the saint. So be it. Anyway, he will not die. This is related to our opportunity. What are we afraid of? Then what should we do? First, persuade him nicely and give him some benefits. If he is not willing, we can only take action. I believe he is also a person who knows how to adapt to circumstances. With his current strength, entering the Heaven Accessing Secret Area is also suicide. That's right. We are also helping him to prevent the sect's geniuses from dying in the Heaven Accessing Secret Area. Stop talking nonsense. Let's go to Yanhuang Peak immediately. Chapter 1691. An hour later, on Yanhuang Peak. An elder is visiting? Let them in. Xiao Ping raised his eyebrows. He had wanted a rest, but he didn't expect to hear an elder visiting. He temporarily gave up the idea and let the elder in. After all, the other party was a Dharma plane expert. He was highly respected in the Qinquan sect and had worked hard. Whoosh! Soon, 3 elders walked in directly from outside. They were Ma Guwei, Ma Xingping, and Ma Mingho. Although they looked old, their auras were not to be underestimated. They walked with majestic steps and seemed to be one with nature. They seemed to have comprehended the mysteries of the sun and moon and had the power to move planets. Greetings, Elder Ma. May I know why you have suddenly come to visit? Xiao Ping went straight to the point and didn't bother with pleasantries. He recognized the 3 Qinquan sect elders. They were all from Ma family. It was said that 10,000 years ago, the Ma family was just an ordinary family that was inconspicuous in the universe. The family head was at most at the Golden Core realm. But suddenly, Ma Guowei, Ma Shangping, Ma Mingho, and the other two geniuses of the Ma family appeared. They were like birds of a feather and joined the Qinquan sect. In the end, they supported each other and advanced by leaps and bounds. They had many fortuitous encounters, and now, all of them advanced to the Dharma aspect realm and became heaven and earth sex elders. The Ma family also became a very famous family in the heaven and earth sect. This also made them the inspirational idols of many people. Ma Guowei, Ma Shangping, and Ma Mingho looked at each other. Without hesitation, they said directly, Junior Brother Xia is really a straightforward person. Then let's get to the point. I believe Junior Brother Xia also knows that the heaven accessing place will open in more than a week. At that time, everyone will be watching. What? It will open in a week? So soon? Xiaoping raised his eyebrows. Junior Brother Xia doesn't know? It seems that you have been cultivating so hard that you don't know what is happening outside. Ma Guowei smiled and flattered him. Oh, thank you for telling me this. Then I will go and prepare to enter the heaven-accessing secret realm to obtain opportunities. Xiaoping thought that the three elders were here to tell him about the opening of the heaven-accessing secret realm. Ma Guowei, Ma Shangping, and Ma Mingho's mouths twitched. They immediately knew that Xiaoping had misunderstood. Who did this bastard think their elders were? Even if he really wanted to inform them, he wouldn't have sent 3 Transcendence Realm elders to inform them. This was simply overkill. Junior Brother Xia, you misunderstood. We're not here to inform you of the opening of the heaven-accessing secret area. We have something to discuss with you, Ma Guowei said. What is it? Xiaoping asked. Previously, Junior Brother Xia obtained a heavenly connection token, right? We would like to purchase it. Name a price. Ma Shangping revealed his true purpose for coming to Yanhuang Peak. You want to buy it? But the token is already bound to my soul. No one else can use it. Xiaoping raised his eyebrows. He didn't expect the 3 elders to come here for this purpose. That's not a problem. The 3 of us have a secret technique that can remove the binding between your soul and the Heaven's Mandate Medallion, allowing a new person to become the Heaven's Mandate Medallion's master. Ma Mingho indicated that he had a secret technique. In fact, they weren't the only ones with secret techniques. Many forces in the universe had similar secret techniques that could remove the binding of the Heaven's Mandate Medallion and allow others to enter the heaven-accessing secret area. Unfortunately, this required the consent of the original owner to have a chance. However, some powerful figures of diabolism would force those who had the Heaven's Mandate Medallion to be tortured and tortured. Naturally, the other party would be willing to give up the Heaven's Mandate Medallion. Of course, we won't let you suffer a loss. We can give you enough compensation. Ma Shangping indicated that he would compensate Xiaoping generously. Hearing this, Xiaoping's eyes suddenly lit up. He said, Really? Then you can give me a heavenly flame, universe longevity elixir, 8 divine wood, 9 heaven living soil. He listed a series of treasures and looked at the Ma family's 3rd elder eagerly. If the other party could give him these treasures, it wouldn't be a problem for him not to go to the heaven-accessing secret area. However, the more they listened, the darker their faces became, like charcoal. Hearing that the treasures were getting more and more ridiculous, they couldn't take it anymore. Enough, Junior Brother Xia, stop talking. We don't have any of these treasures. Not a single one. You've been elders for so long, and you haven't even gotten this bit of profit. Aren't you a little useless? Xiaoping looked at the Ma family's 3rd elder with disdain, as if he was looking at 3 paupers. What useless? Junior Brother Xia, do you know how much you're asking for? Ma Shangping immediately exploded in anger. A heavenly flame? How can you even think of that? Are heavenly flames so easy to find? They are distributed in various dangerous places in the universe. Entering them is almost certain death. Furthermore, you have to subdue them. If you're unlucky, you'll be burned to death. If heavenly flames were so easy to find, they would be all over the streets. Heavenly flames are fine, but you still want the universe longevity elixir. Do you know what kind of elixir it is? It's an elixir that can increase one's lifespan. It's priceless. Eating one can increase one's lifespan by 10,000 years. Even Thunder Tribulation realm experts covet it. Do you know how much it's worth? We can't afford it, even if we go bankrupt. Other than that, there was also the 8 extremities divine wood, the 9 heavens living loam, and so on. Which one of them wasn't a natural oddity, a supreme treasure of the universe? They were all treasures that couldn't be bought with money, and they all wanted to get their hands on them. If they could obtain these treasures, they wouldn't have to take the risk to go to the heaven-accessing mystic realm. After all, they had to face great danger there. If they weren't careful, they would die. The Ma family's 3rd elder gritted his teeth and stared at Xiaoping. He felt that this kid was simply opening his mouth and treating them like fat sheep to be slaughtered. Scram as far as your thoughts can go. Xiaoping looked at the Ma family's 3rd elder with even more disdain and said, "Being poor is being poor. What other reason is there to explain it? You want to talk about feelings with me when you don't have money? Do you think I'm a teenage girl?" The Ma family's 3rd elder's face turned green. They had lived for so long, but this was the first time someone looked down on them for being poor. They were Dharma characteristic realm experts. Although they weren't rich enough to rival a country, they weren't something a golden core realm perfected being could compare to. It was an exaggeration to say that a random strand of hair they plucked was thicker than an ordinary person's thigh. A golden core realm junior actually dared to look down on them like this. It was really preposterous. "Junior brother Xia, I'll be honest with you," Ma Guowei said in a deep voice. "This time, entering the heaven-accessing mystic realm is full of danger. Dharma characteristic realm experts can only go in to protect themselves. Golden core realm perfected beings will only die if they go in. They will become fat sheep waiting to be slaughtered." Chapter 1692. Oh, very dangerous? Can it be more dangerous than the Abyss World? Xiaoping said casually. He had been to the Abyss World for training. That place was full of terrible abyss demons and ambushes. What place could be more dangerous than the Abyss World? The 3 elders of the Ma family gritted their teeth. They were so angry that they almost couldn't breathe. They had almost forgotten that Xiaoping had been to the Abyss World for training and had fought with demons. He had seen countless dangers. Perhaps ordinary dangers really couldn't scare him. "Junior brother Xia, the heaven-accessing secret land is different from the Abyss World. Last time you went there, you had the support of your elders. You could escape at any time when you encountered danger. But the heaven-accessing secret land is different. You can't escape when you encounter danger." Ma Guowei said, "More importantly, everyone who enters the heaven-accessing secret land is basically an expert, at least above the returning nature realm. There may even be some old monsters in the Thunder Retribution realm hiding in it. Moreover, geniuses from the 4 major universes will also appear. You are a genius of our East universe. If you encounter geniuses from other universes, they will definitely kill you and attack you together." He said that the heaven-accessing secret land was much more dangerous than the Abyss World. If you encounter experts from other universes, you will definitely be besieged and killed without mercy. This was because for countless years, the creatures in the 4 major universes had killed each other and formed a lot of hatred. If there was a chance to weaken the other party, they would definitely not hold back. Even those who entered the heaven-accessing secret land were not only human beings, but also other races. Especially those special races, each of them had strange abilities. If you were careless, you would definitely be plotted against and die. The danger of the heaven-accessing secret land is not only the enemies of other universes and other races. What is more frightening is the environment inside the heaven-accessing secret land. Ma Mingho also threatened. "I remember that in ancient times, when fighting with the abyss demons, the heaven-accessing secret land was one of the main battlefields. Countless sages fought in it. As a result, many sages died. The fighting caused the sky to collapse and the earth to crack. After those sages died, they turned into extremely dangerous secret lands, leaving behind terrible resentment. If you accidentally get close to these secret lands, you will immediately be targeted by the resentful spirits of the sages or die in those secret lands. Even your body can't be found. The secret lands evolved by the sages? Are the sages so powerful after they die? Xiaoping blinked his eyes. You don't know how terrifying sages are. They are beings from another dimension. Ma Xingping sneered and pointed out to Xiaoping. Their bodies form a space of their own, condensing a small world. After death, these solidified small worlds do not disappear. They will immediately appear in the real world. In fact, there were many unique planets and strange and terrifying continents in the universe, and a considerable number of them had evolved from the corpses of saints. It is said that some invincible saints are even more astonishing after their deaths. Their two eyes will turn into the moon and the sun. Every drop of blood will turn into an ordinary planet. Their flesh and blood will turn into land. Their hair will turn into rivers, and their brains will turn into mountains. Their entire bodies will evolve into a vast and boundless star field. He was incomparably emotional and felt that the divine abilities of a saint were simply unimaginable. It was not something that an ordinary person could imagine. Every drop of blood in a person's body was extremely beneficial to an ordinary person and could extend their lifespan. Therefore, saints are the highest goal of almost all living beings. They represented transcending the mortal realm and becoming a saint, breaking away from the realm of mortals. Oh, thank you for telling me these details, Elder Ma. I will pay attention. Xiaoping nodded. What the hell? Ma Wei, Ma Shengping, and Ma Mingho were all stunned. They said so much just to intimidate Xiaoping, to let him know how powerful they were and to obediently hand over the supreme token. But after saying so much, it turned out that this guy thought they were telling him all kinds of information about the heaven-accessing secret land and were giving him benefits. Junior brother Xia, I have said so much. Don't you have any idea in your heart? According to your current strength, entering the heaven-accessing secret land is courting death. Not only will you not get the treasures, but you may also die. You're still young. Why go now? It is not too late to enter after you advance to the law manifestation realm. Anyway, the heaven-accessing secret land will open every once in a while. Ma Guowei tried his best to dissuade him. Not strong enough? You look down on me? Xiaoping squinted at them and said, well, you guys fight with me. If you win, I will give you my supreme token with both hands without a penny. But if you lose, then all the treasures you have will belong to me. Do you dare to bet? He proposed a bet that would ruin him. What did you say? If you lose, you will lose the supreme token. But if you win, all the treasures we have will belong to you. This bet is too big. You are too greedy. This bet is very unfair. Do you think we will agree? Ma Xingping stared at Xiaoping with a pair of bull eyes wide open. Ma Guowei and Ma Mingho were also very dissatisfied and looked unfriendly. Greedy? Who is the greedy one? Do you think you don't need to pay a price to get the supreme token? It is ridiculous to want to enter the heaven-accessing secret land to search for treasures without this kind of psychological preparation and awareness. If you don't agree, get out of here immediately. Xiaoping tried to provoke them. You, the third elder of the Ma family, was half dead with anger. You what? You're not convinced that you are weak. Xiaoping said disdainfully. You three elders of the Law Phase realm don't even have the confidence to fight with me and think that you might lose. You want to become a sage with this kind of virtue. You must be dreaming. Go home and enjoy your retirement. Don't come out. Okay, we agree. Since you want to lose, we will fulfill your wish. But we need to inform the sect leader about this and sign the contract so that we can't go back on our words. Ma Guowei rolled his eyes and immediately agreed. He was afraid that Xiaoping would go back on his words and wanted to find the sect leader as a middleman. In this way, even if Xiaoping lost, he could not go back on his words. Ma Xingping and Ma Mingho both sneered. They were secretly happy and did not stop him. In their view, Xiaoping's action was to give them the supreme token. There was no reason for them to refuse. In fact, they were very happy. Before, they thought that they would have to pay a great price to get the supreme token from Xiaoping. Now it seemed that it was as easy as blowing off dust. No problem. Let's find the sect leader. See you at the dueling platform tomorrow. Xiaoping waved his hand and decided this matter. He had just reached the early stage of the returning nature realm and condensed the 9 primordial spirits. His combat power was so strong that it was terrifying. He just needed a battle to prove his strength. Chapter 1693. At this moment, Ma Guowei, Ma Shangping, and Ma Mingho left Yanhuang Peak in a good mood. Haha, we've searched high and low in the world, only to find it by chance. I didn't expect that kid to be so stupid. He even dared to agree to a duel with the 3 of us. He's obviously giving us the heaven-connecting token. Ma Shangping said proudly. That kid isn't stupid, he's confident. I sense that his aura is different from before. He must have reached the returning truth realm and condensed an essence spirit. Ma Guowei said in a deep voice, his eyes shining brightly. Impossible. That kid just joined the Heaven and Earth sect and was only at the Purple Palace realm. How could he have reached the returning truth realm? That's too scary. Ma Mingho was shocked when he heard the news. He thought that he was a genius and had many fortuitous encounters. But from the Purple Palace realm to the returning truth realm, he had experienced 3,000 years of suffering. But this kid had reached the returning truth realm in just a few years. His speed was frightening. Without a doubt, this kid has a big secret. His luck is like a dragon, and he has many fortuitous encounters. Ma Guowei's eyes were cold. If he wasn't the disciple of the Dark North Saint, I would really want to capture him and study him to see what treasures he has. It's better not to act rashly. The wrath of a saint is not so easy to bear. We can bully each other, but that's because the saint thinks that this is a form of training for their disciples. They won't interfere casually. However, if we kill each other, that's another matter. If the saint wants to kill us, it'll only take a single slap. Ma Shangping said with fear. I'm just saying, I don't have the guts to do it, and there's no need. Ma Guowei waved his hand, but maybe because of this, after reaching the returning true realm, he started to look down on everyone. He thinks that he can fight across realms and beat us elders. He is very arrogant. Maybe he is used to fighting above his cultivation level and is used to being arrogant. He can defeat a Goasian cultivator as a Jindan, but a Dharma is completely different from a Goasian cultivator. The difference is not just 10 times, but more than 100 times. The higher the level, the greater the difference. Even if a monster cultivator reaches the late level, he can't fight above his cultivation level. Ma Shangping sneered. Ma Mingho clenched his fists and said ferociously, This time, we have to teach this disciple of the saint a lesson so that he won't be so arrogant. Perhaps this is also an opportunity to teach him a lesson. The status of us veteran elders is not that easy to challenge. All right, go and inform the sect leader immediately. Let him be the middleman. Don't give him the time and opportunity to regret. Ma Shangping immediately said. The other 2 nodded and quickly flew to where the Qinquan sect's sect master was. Very quickly, the news of the battle between Xiaoping and the 3 elders of the Ma family spread through the entire Qinquan sect like a hurricane. All the disciples and elders in Qinquan Star were alarmed. It was because this was an unprecedented matter. A disciple who had just entered the sect a few years ago was actually going to fight a sect elder. This was simply unheard of and rarely seen throughout the ages. Oh my God, is Xiaoping gone mad? He actually wants to fight 3 Law Phase Realm elders, and it's 1 against 3. Even if he is arrogant, there is no need to be so arrogant, right? A Qinquan sect disciple was dumbfounded. He almost thought that this was fake news, but when the Qinquan sect leader personally confirmed it, he had no choice but to believe it. I heard that junior brother Xia has already advanced to the returning truth realm and condensed his primordial spirit. Oh my God, I remember that he just advanced to the golden core realm not long ago. He advanced to the returning truth realm so quickly and condensed his primordial spirit. Doesn't he have any bottlenecks? Even a flying ship wouldn't be as fast as him. This is a monster. This is how terrifying a disciple of a saint is. Comparing oneself to others is really infuriating. I have already entered the sect for hundreds of years and am only at the true fire realm. I don't even know when I can enter the golden core realm. I might even be trapped for 1,000 years. However, junior brother Xia has advanced to the returning truth realm. Many Qinkuan sect disciples discussed. They were all shocked by Xia Ping's cultivation speed. They had never seen such a monstrous genius. Breaking through was as easy as drinking water. There was no bottleneck at all. Even some personal disciples were speechless. They also felt that they were geniuses, but they didn't think that they were geniuses to such an extent. It had exceeded their imagination. However, even if he condensed his primordial spirit, it's impossible for junior brother Xia to be a match for Elder Ma and the rest. A Qinkuan sect disciple said with certainty, the difference between the law phase realm and the returning truth realm is at least 100 times. A law phase realm cultivator can sweep a group of returning truth realm cultivators. This isn't a joke. It's like the difference between an elephant and an ant. Moreover, Elder Ma and the rest have been fighting for a long time and have lived for over 10,000 years. They could be said to be old monsters, veteran law phase realm cultivators. No matter how monstrous Xia Ping is, he can't be compared to them. He didn't think that Xia Ping would win this battle. He reckoned that Xia Ping would be instantly killed. That might not be the case. Someone retorted, I heard that there's a bet involved in this battle. If junior brother Xia loses, he has to hand over the heaven connecting token unconditionally. If he wins, the 3 Ma clan elders have to hand over their treasures and go bankrupt. At this moment, the sect leader has already become the middleman. He has collected the heaven connecting token and the Ma clan elders' wealth. When the result of the battle is out, he will return it to the winner. If junior brother Xia doesn't have absolute confidence, why would he agree to this battle? I feel that junior brother Xia has a high chance of winning. The Ma clan elders are too old. He felt that Xia Ping would win. What a fool's dream. Can the difference in martial Dao realm be made up with arrogant words? No matter how confident junior brother Xia is, the difference is the difference. It can't be changed by one's willpower. I feel that junior brother Xia is too arrogant. Maybe he has been a genius since he was young and is used to being invincible. He often challenges those who are stronger than him. This made him forget that there's a huge gap between the returning truth and law phase realm. It's useless to say all this now. Tomorrow afternoon, when the battle starts, we will know who will win and who will lose. That's right. There's no use in talking. Whether he is a donkey or a horse, we will know once we pull him out. Let's wait and see. No matter who wins this time, junior brother Xia will probably leave his name in history. He could be said to be the strongest genius since the establishment of the Heaven and Earth sect, a peerless monster. I'm really looking forward to the battle tomorrow afternoon. Go and get a seat immediately. Otherwise, the arena will be full. Don't go and fight. It's already full. Many seats have been reserved by the elders and sect leader. There are also many true disciples. We can only watch the live broadcast and can't go to the arena. Chapter 1694. At noon the next day, on the Qinkuan Star dueling platform. This place covered an area of 100,000 miles. It was surrounded by a huge restriction formation that formed a space of its own. Its defense was amazing. Even if a lightning retribution realm expert fought with all his might, he wouldn't be able to break through the formation. At this moment, the spectating area in the surroundings of the arena was filled with a dense expanse of people. All of them were the various elders and elite disciples of the Qinkuan sect, and all of them were important figures of the Qinkuan sect that possessed great authority. They were chatting now. I didn't expect junior brother Xia to dare to challenge Elder Ma and the others. Newborn calves aren't afraid of tigers. And the bet is quite big. If they lose, Elder Ma and the others will go bankrupt. They're really willing to do so. What's there to be unwilling about? Elder Ma and the others will definitely win. That's right. It's a battle between Dharma cultivators and Guasian cultivators, and it's 3 against 1. If Elder Ma and the others don't win, they might as well kill themselves with a piece of tofu. I guess junior brother Xia also thinks that with his current strength, he isn't suitable to enter the Heaven Secret territory. That's why he used the token as a bet. He hopes to fight with Elder Ma and the others to increase his combat experience. I don't think so. Maybe junior brother Xia thinks he has a high chance of winning. High chance of winning? Are you kidding me? Sorry, I really didn't hear it. To be honest, the difference between the Clarity realm and the Transcendence realm is too big. It's like the river and the sea. How can they be compared? Indeed, no matter how monstrous Junior Brother Xia is, it's extremely difficult to defeat a Transcendence Realm expert. It's a fool's dream to fight 3 alone and win. Many of the Qinkuan sect's elders were discussing. However, the majority of them felt that Xia Ping would lose for sure. But even so, the fact that Xia Ping could advance to the returning Truth Realm so quickly still shocked them. They felt that Xia Ping had only cultivated for a short period of time. After a period of time, most of the elders here probably wouldn't be his match. He would definitely become the pillar of the Qinkuan sect in the future. Many elders felt extremely gratified. They're here. Junior Brother Xia and the others are here. Suddenly, someone cried out, "Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh." 4 figures immediately flew over from the sky. They were Xia Ping, Ma Wei, Ma Shengping, and Ma Mingho. They immediately landed on the dueling platform, facing each other from several kilometers away. They're all here. At this moment, a figure stood up from the spectator stands, emitting a terrifying aura. He was the sect leader of the Qinkuan sect, Zhu Xian, a major character at the peak of the Lightning Tribulation realm. The 2 of you will fight on the dueling platform, and under the witness of the Qinkuan sect's ancestor, it will be fair and just. You will sign a contract saying that no one can complain if they lose, and no one is allowed to take revenge afterwards. All grudges will be settled in the duel. Otherwise, you will be expelled from the Qinkuan sect, and your divine ability will be crippled. Do the 4 of you have any objections? No. Xia Ping and the others shook their heads. That's good. A barrier has been set up on the dueling platform, sealing off the void. Even a lightning tribulation eminence can't destroy it. You can use your divine abilities here. You don't have to worry about destroying the dueling platform. However, you are not allowed to kill. If there are no objections, the duel will begin immediately. Sect Master Zhu Xian formed a seal with his hands. With a boom, the entire dueling platform was enveloped by an energy shield, forming a crystal wall. It was like a transparent wall, sealing off the void and forming an independent space that couldn't affect the outside world. Junior Brother Xia, I didn't expect you to really dare to come and agree to this bet. Don't worry, if I enter the heaven-accessing secret realm and obtain any treasures, I can share a few with you. Ma Guowei revealed a generous look, clearly thinking that the 3 of them would definitely win. His tone was filled with the tone of a victor, high and mighty, insufferably arrogant. There's no need to split the treasures. I'm just afraid that you 3 old men will lose the duel and go bankrupt. It wouldn't be good if you want to commit suicide. If you admit defeat now, you will only lose half of the bet. What do you think? Xia Ping gave a suggestion. Brat, aren't you too arrogant? Ma Guowei sneered. You haven't fought with a powerful figure in the Transcendence realm, so you don't know how terrifying they are. Today, there's no need for the other 2 to fight. I alone am enough to easily suppress you. He wanted to defeat Xia Ping by himself to shut the mouths of the crowd, lest other brothers say that they were ganging up on Xia Ping. It would be bad for their reputation. The Transcendence realm is nothing. I've even killed a powerful figure in the Thunder Retribution realm. Xia Ping said seriously. Humph, boasting shamelessly and stubbornly. In that case, I'll let you see the horror of a powerful figure in the Transcendence realm. It's not something a brat like you can compete with. Ma Guowei snorted coldly, not believing Xia Ping's words at all. He was just a junior. Even if he made rapid progress, he was still in the restoring realm after all. It was nonsense to want to kill a powerful figure in the Thunder Retribution realm with such a cultivation. Boom! In an instant, he immediately activated some kind of secret technique, and an extremely powerful thunder aura surged from the depths of his mind. This thunder aura quickly gathered and formed a heaven and earth Dharma power. The Dharma form of heaven and earth was a Kuei ox. Its body was filled with the terrifying power of thunder, crackling and rattling, shaking the surrounding void. Suddenly, dark clouds covered the sky, as if the area within 1,000 miles had turned into a domain of thunder. It's out. This is junior brother Ma Guowei's Kuei Ox Dharma power. It has mastered the power of thunder and is extremely terrifying. I didn't expect junior brother Ma Guowei to be so ruthless. He didn't give junior brother Xiao a chance at all and wanted to use all his strength to finish him off instantly. An elder sighed. Not bad. Xiaoping nodded. He could sense the powerful thunder energy on Ma Guowei, especially the condensed Kuei Ox Dharma power. It contained the power of laws and was extremely powerful. Even though he had seen many powerful figures in the Transcendence realm, Ma Guowei was still one of the top. Of course, it was incomparable to the power of thunder that he had mastered. After all, he had devoured the power of the thunder retribution, which belonged to the thunder of heaven and earth. It was many times more terrifying than ordinary thunder. It was different in nature. Not bad? Junior, you are too arrogant. I am your senior, a powerful figure who has condensed a heaven and earth Dharma power. You think you're just a bit good? I want to see what capabilities you have to dare to say such big words. Hearing this, Ma Weiguo was enraged. This brat was obviously looking down on him. How could such words be said by a junior? He was clearly putting himself in a high and mighty position, guiding him like a master. As an elder of the Qingquan sect and a powerful figure in the Transcendence realm, how could he endure such humiliation? Kill. Chapter 1695. Junior brother Ma Guowei is angry. Some elders who were familiar with Ma Guowei could tell that he was furious. He seemed to have lost his mind. Rumble, instantly, a Kuei ox stepped out from the air. Its body was engraved with densely packed lightning runes. Thousands of bolts of lightning wrapped around its body, as if it was the ruler of lightning. Its eyes were bloodshot, and it charged forward. It was like Gong Gong who had crashed into Mount Buzhou, creating a terrifying force that tore apart the ground and shattered the space. Everyone present could sense the ferocity of this Kuei Ox Dharma form. It was earth-shattering and contained the power of destruction. It was as if all matter would be torn apart and completely shattered by this power of thunder. Oh no, junior brother Xia is in danger. Sect leader, we have to save him in time to prevent junior brother Ma from going crazy and accidentally killing junior brother Xia. Many elders immediately stood up, their expressions solemn. They felt that the situation was serious and that they had to stop this battle. Otherwise, if they were careless, Xiaoping might be smashed to death on the arena. If that really happened, it would be a great misfortune for the Heaven and Earth faction. Sect leader Zhu Xian nodded. He was already fully prepared and could save Xiaoping's life at any time. Weak, you are simply too weak. However, Xiaoping shook his head. To ordinary cultivators, this Kuei Ox Dharma form was extremely terrifying. It controlled the power of lightning and was invincible. Its ferocious might was matchless. But in his eyes, the Kuei Ox was just an empty diagram. It was full of flaws and didn't have the spirit to display the might of the ancient divine beast Kuei Ox. He didn't dodge at all. He was upright, and upright like a great sun in the sky. He took a step forward and punched the void, with a shake and an explosion. At this moment, Xiaoping's spiritual power surged out. His 9 mind spaces trembled and instantly gathered on his fist, forming a terrifying force. It was as if a divine beast had descended. The fist transformed into an imperial seal. It was like the seal of a great emperor as it landed on the Kuei Ox Dharma form. Dong! A tremendous force exploded in an instant, as if a star had exploded. The Kuei Ox Dharma idol instantly exploded into pieces, and all the power of thunder was obliterated, turning into nothingness. A terrifying explosion rang out from the void, transmitted to the spectators' stands on the dueling platform. The sound waves vibrated and condensed into a substance, producing a terrifying sound-killing power. One by one, the weaker cultivators were immediately shaken to the point where they bled from their 7 orifices and their lungs were injured. Even the spectator seats had slight cracks and cracking sounds. I'm flying. What's going on? Why am I flying? I can't control myself at all. Ma Guowei was completely dumbfounded. Just now, he had been so pleased with himself that he had forgotten his place, fantasizing about how he would send Xiaoping flying in an instant and teach this junior brother Xia a lesson that he would never forget, showing off the power of a Dharma adept. But in the next second, The heaven and earth Dharma idol that he had condensed was shattered into pieces and turned into a ball of vital chi. Even his body was hit, and he was punched. Immediately, his entire body was blasted away like a shooting star. But now, Ma Guowei's mind was in a blank state. He had lost all consciousness. It was as if he had a concussion. Even if he wanted to resist, he couldn't. Dong! Ma Guowei let out a shrill scream. His body flew thousands of miles and finally smashed into the barrier of the boundary. There was a loud clang, and the barrier of the boundary kept shaking, but it was not broken. But this tyrannical force bombarded his body, and his body was destroyed thousands of times. Suddenly, half of his body was crippled, and blood spurted out as if it was free, dyeing the ground red. With a thud, he slid down the barrier and finally fell to the ground, unconscious. If an ordinary person had suffered such an injury, they would have died long ago. But Ma Guowei was a Dharma adept, and his recovery ability was extremely strong. He would not die for the time being, but he was seriously injured. Damn, what's going on? The Kuei Neo Dharma power was destroyed with one punch. Seeing this scene, Ma Guowei was punched to the point where it was unknown whether he was dead or alive, and he was seriously injured on the spot. Many of the spectators in the spectator seats, including the clan leader and many elders, could not help but stand up. They were completely boiling, and their emotions could not help but lose control. Everyone knew that Ma Guowei was a veteran Dharma adept, especially since he had condensed the Kuei Neo Dharma power and could control the power of thunder. His magical powers were endless, and his combat ability was tyrannical. Even among the Dharma adepts, he was an extremely strong expert. But what kind of person was Xiaoping? He was a Qinquan sect disciple who had entered for a few years, and his hair was not even fully grown yet. His realm was also at the returning nature realm, and he had just condensed his primordial spirit. But it was such a person who destroyed Ma Guowei's Kuei Neo Dharma power with one punch. How could they not be shocked? And how could they not lose control of their emotions? No wonder he dared to challenge 3 elders of the Ma family alone, using the sky-piercing token as the wager. This strength is shocking. Clan leader Zhu Xian could not help but be shocked. He had lived for tens of thousands of years, and he could be considered to be very knowledgeable. He had seen all kinds of monsters, but he had never seen someone like Xiaoping. He was unique, and he stood out from the crowd. This is too much. A returning nature realm cultivator destroyed a Dharma adept with one punch. Is this reasonable? Is there any justice in this world? Who is the real expert? The group of Qinquan sect elders were dumbfounded, and they were shocked. Xiaoping, how dare you treat my elder brother like this? Die. Seeing Ma Guowei lying on the ground like a pile of mud, Ma Shengping and Ma Mingho were enraged. Endless anger surged in their hearts, and they were extremely violent. The 3 brothers were like brothers, and they lived and died together. But now, one of them was beaten to the point where it was unknown whether he was dead or alive. One could imagine the anger in their hearts, and they even had the intention to kill. What's wrong? Didn't want to fight one-on-one? Now you want to join forces? Xiaoping said, "Fight your sister's husband. I will beat you up." Ma Shengping was furious. At this time, what was the point of fighting one-on-one? They want to join forces and beat this junior to death. Boom! He used a secret technique, and a terrifying ball of yuan qi rushed out of his mind, quickly condensing into a pangolin. Its whole body emitted an earthy yellow air current, and its body was densely covered with earth element runes. Pieces of ferocious scales appeared on its surface, and it was as if it was a ferocious beast hiding in the depths of the earth, emitting a terrifying killing intent. With a whoosh, Ma Shengping's will moved, and the pangolin immediately burrowed into the earth, becoming invisible. Only a series of trembling sounds could be heard from the depths of the earth. Kill! Ma Mingho didn't waste any words, and with an angry shout, a tyrannical Dharma idol appeared from his body. It was a blue sea snake with 9 heads. This was a 9-headed snake. Every head was extremely ferocious, emitting a ferocious aura. It was as if it was a ferocious beast from the prehistoric era, and one could feel its tyrannical power and ruthlessness. Whoosh! Chapter 1696. Xiaoping squinted his eyes. His consciousness was strong, and he could sense that there was a yellow current moving quickly beneath the ground. It seemed to be looking for a chance to deal a fatal blow to him. He didn't even look and use the divine elephant breathing technique. Every inch of his body was activated and filled with power. He stomped on the ground like a divine elephant. Dong! It was just one attack, but with his body as the center, the area within 10,000 miles shook horribly. Millions of vibrations contained terrifying destructive power. The sound waves spread out again and again. Countless cracks appeared on the ground, densely packed like a spider web. It was a shocking scene. The pangolin, which had been hiding underground, was caught off guard and was immediately hit. Its huge body was sent flying, and its yuan shun almost collapsed. Because the Dharma was heavily injured, Ma Shengping screamed in pain. His yuan shun was injured, and he was bleeding from his orifices. Everything happened in the blink of an eye. The nine-headed snake also rushed over. Its body was enormous, and as it flew through the air, it was like a huge mountain. Demons danced about chaotically, and its 9 heads simultaneously released world-shaking roars, wanting to blast Xiaoping to death in an instant. "Get down here." Xiaoping stepped out and grabbed at the air. Immediately, the yin and yang energies of heaven and earth gathered, forming a huge black and white palm. There seemed to be the yin and yang 8 trigrams spinning in the center of the palm. Martial arts technique, yin-yang tablet-breaking palm. The 9-headed snake was caught off guard, and the huge palm grabbed it. It was like a giant grabbing a small snake. Terrifying power vibrated. Dong! In the next second, the giant palm squeezed gently, and the 9 heads instantly exploded into pieces. Even the entire body was squeezed into a ball of dregs, as if it was kneading dough. Such power! In the spectators' stands, many elders saw this scene, and their hearts trembled. This power was simply way too formidable. It was practically boundless. With just a gentle slap, the 2 heaven and earth Dharma figures were smashed apart like tofu. Still not admitting defeat, Xiaoping stood with his hands behind his back and looked down at Ma Guowei, Ma Shengping, and Ma Mingho, who were vomiting blood on the ground. Ma Guowei seemed to have regained consciousness. At the same time, he took some healing pills and recovered some of his spiritual energy. He wasn't as weak as before. Admit defeat? You're just a junior at the returning true realm. You want us to admit defeat? Dream on. Ma Guowei, Ma Shengping, and Ma Mingho roared, refusing to admit defeat. In fact, they also wanted to admit defeat, but this duel was related to a bet. If they admitted defeat, they would lose all their wealth. How could they dare to admit defeat? Once they surrendered, they would immediately become paupers. No matter what, they had to hold on. 2 brothers, lend me a hand and display the Kuei ox through heaven diagram. Ma Guowei bellowed. He immediately took out a supreme great spirit artifact from his body, the Kuei Neo-Heavenly Diagram. This was a transcendent artifact that he had obtained from some ancient ruins. It was extremely powerful and vaguely had the potential to become a sane artifact. All right, Ma Shengping and Ma Mingho looked at each other. Right now, their only chance of survival was to assist Ma Guowei and activate the Kuei Neo-Heavenly Diagram. Only then could they suppress this brat. In an instant, they formed seals with their hands. As supreme transcendence realm cultivators, they channeled their boundless magic power into the diagram. The huge diagram immediately rose up and concealed itself in the void. Immediately, a huge array rose up, covering 1,000 miles. Every rune of the array was like a mark of the great Tao. It faintly communicated with the power of heaven and earth, absorbing the energy of the lightning calamity in the depths of the void. What's going on? It actually devoured the energy of the lightning calamity? How did it do that? The many Qinkuan sect elders were all shocked. They saw the transcendent artifact rising up and instantly communicating with a lightning dimension space, absorbing the energy of the lightning calamity. Although the lightning calamity was the most ordinary, it was still a power that could destroy the world. It wasn't something that ordinary lightning could compare to. That transcendent artifact is very unusual. I'm afraid it was refined by a saint. It has the potential to become a saint artifact. Sect leader Zhu Xian's eyes shone brightly. He had seen through the mystical aspects of that transcendent artifact. Boom, in the depths of the void, endless energy of the lightning calamity gathered, condensing into a kuei the size of a mountain. This kuei was clearly different from the previous one. It was more than 1,000 times more terrifying. It stood in the void, indomitable. Its pair of purple horns devoured the power of the lightning calamity. Thousands of bolts of the lightning calamity transformed into lightning dragons that coiled around it. It was as if the god of thunder had descended and ruled the world. Haha, Xiaoping, I admit that your strength is beyond imagination. You can challenge those of a higher level than you. Ordinary Transcendence Realm cultivators are no match for you. However, in front of my Kuei Sky reaching diagram, you can't even withstand a single blow. Its power is something that you will never be able to imagine. Come, have a taste of the power of my Kuei Sky reaching diagram. Ma Guowei laughed loudly, feeling very satisfied. He felt that he had almost reached the peak of the Transcendence Realm. He could vaguely feel a trace of the power of the lightning calamity. It's over. Junior Xia will definitely lose this time. The power of the Kuei Sky reaching diagram is too strong. Coupled with the activation of 3 Transcendence Realm cultivators, its power is endless. Guei Zhen won't be able to withstand it. Unless Junior Xia has a sane artifact, his chances of survival are slim. Looks like the outcome has been decided. Many of the elders shook their heads. In reality, Xiaoping was already strong enough. However, it was a pity that he had only trained for a short period of time. His foundation was still not strong enough. He did not have a strong foundation like the third elder of the Ma family, who could even take out an ultimate spiritual weapon. Kill! Ma Guowei shouted and activated the Kuei Sky reaching diagram. The divine Kuei Sky reaching diagram roared and sprinted. It exploded with thousands of bolts of purple lightning calamity and struck down from the void. Each bolt of lightning was as thick as a bucket. As they struck down, it was as if a lightning calamity was undergoing a tribulation. Some of the lightning calamity saw this scene and felt a faint sense of fear. The entire dueling ground was filled with terrifying destructive energy. Lightning flashed, and the void trembled. If an ordinary cultivator entered, they would be turned into ashes in an instant. Too weak. Xiaoping shook his head. He stood where he was and gathered the power of his primordial soul to communicate with the fire dimension. Dong! In an instant, a black hole with a diameter of 3 meters tore open above his head. From the depths of the black hole came a terrifying flame energy that seemed to have the power to kill. Many of the elders felt their hearts palpitate. Their divine senses penetrated through the black hole and immediately sensed that it was a boundless dimension world. It was even bigger than dozens of star fields. In this fire dimension world, there seemed to be many flame creatures living. There were lava giants, immortal firebirds, fire gods, fire dragons, and so on. Each of them was earth-shattering and emitted a terrifying aura. What? This is the fire dimension. He actually communicated with the fire dimension and opened a dimensional passage. Impossible. How can mere Guei Zhen do such a thing? Chapter 1697. F***K. How did he do it? The Qinquan sect's elders were dumbfounded. They simply didn't dare to believe it. They knew that returning Truth Realm cultivators condensed their primordial spirits and could communicate with the dimensional world and absorb dimensional energy. However, they could only open up a hair-sized crack and absorb weak energy. Not to mention returning Truth Realm cultivators. Even Transcendence Realm cultivators like them could only open up a passageway the size of a marble. The more powerful ones could only open up a passageway the size of a soccer ball. But what was going on with this kid? He actually directly tore open a 3-meter-wide passageway in the dimensional world and drew upon the power of the fire dimension to create a world-destroying might. How terrifying was the power of his primordial spirit to be able to do such a thing? Was he still human? Oh my God, what is going on? Ma Guowei, Ma Shengping, and Ma Mingho were all dumbfounded. They had never experienced such a thing before. In an instant, boundless fire energy surged out from the dimensional passageway, condensing into a corporeal form. It condensed into a flame giant that was tens of thousands of feet tall. Its entire body was covered in flame rune armor, and it held a giant hammer. The flame giant roared violently. The moment it walked out of the dimensional passageway, it smashed its hammer towards Ma Guowei, Ma Shengping, and Ma Mingho. Boom! The might of this hammer was simply world-shaking. It gathered a large amount of fire energy and turned it into a sea of flames. It instantly destroyed the Kuei heavenly path diagram and burned everything. Before the Kuei ox could even display its might, its entire body was smashed into a ball of fragments. Over 10,000 streaks of lightning energy were shaken into a state of powder. The dueling platform trembled fiercely, and the surrounding energy barrier was also making clanging sounds. PFFF, Ma Guowei, Ma Shengping, and Ma Mingho couldn't withstand such a backlash. They were all sent flying and coughed out a mouthful of blood in midair. Finally, they smashed into the ground, creating 3 huge craters. Boom! Xiaoping waved his hand, and the fire-dimensional passageway was immediately closed. In the depths of the passageway, there were countless flame creatures roaring in a frenzy, seemingly unwilling to accept this outcome. They all wanted to escape to this world from the other side of the passageway. Unfortunately, the passageway was closed. They had no choice but to give up. And because the flames didn't have the replenishment of the fire-dimensional energy, they rapidly dissipated. When the many Qianquan sect elders saw this situation, they immediately heaved a sigh of relief. If these fire-dimensional creatures were to escape, the entire region would probably be incinerated. All lives would be plunged into misery and suffering. It would be like the energy of an entire world pouring down. At the same time, they were also secretly shocked. The fact that Xiaoping was able to close the dimensional passageway so easily was enough to prove that Xiaoping was not only able to open dimensional passageways, but also able to control them freely. This ability was even more incredible. It was a level higher than opening a dimensional passage. Elder Ma, you have lost. Xiaoping stood with his hands behind his back as he calmly looked at Ma Guowei, Ma Shengping, and Ma Mingho. No, I didn't lose. I, Ma Guowei, am an elder of the Heaven and Earth sect, a mighty cultivator of the Transcendence realm. I have lived for thousands of years and experienced more than 108,000 battles. How could I lose? How could I lose to a junior of the returning nature realm like you? Ma Guowei roared and refused to admit defeat. He was extremely unwilling. Illusion. This must be an illusion. Junior, you must have used an illusion technique for this to happen. Junior, you won't be able to scare me. When this old man breaks this illusion, you will definitely lose. Ma Shengping went completely crazy. He felt that this must be a profound illusion technique, which was why their 5 senses were blinded. Such an unimaginable and logical thing happened. PFFF. Ma Mingho couldn't speak. He coughed out another mouthful of blood, and his breathing was extremely weak. Enough, Ma Guowei. At this moment, sect leader Zhu Xian stood up. Look at how miserable you all are now. You refuse to admit defeat. What a scandal. Do you all still have the bearing of an elder? You all have lost this battle. There's no doubt about it, and nothing can change it. If this wasn't a duel but a life and death battle, you all would have been killed by junior brother Xia dozens of times. Now that you all are still alive, you should be thankful that junior brother Xia showed mercy. I hereby announce that junior brother Xia is the winner of this battle. He could see that Ma Mingho and the others no longer had the strength to fight. He immediately announced the result. If they continue to fight, Ma Guowei, Ma Shengping, and Ma Mingho would definitely die. No, I can't accept this. I can't accept this. I, Ma Guowei, have cultivated for thousands of years, rising up from nothing. I went through untold hardships to become a Dharma idol. Now I'm actually defeated by a little brat. Is there still justice in this world? Ma Guowei raised his head and roared. Winner takes all. That's justice. Age doesn't necessarily mean strength. Don't you all understand this? Zhu Xian shook his head. He understood Ma Guowei's mentality. Looking at Xiaoping, he felt that he had lived all his life for nothing. Comparing oneself to others was really infuriating. I can't accept this. Ma Xingping, worked hard to accumulate treasures for thousands of years, and now I've lost them all. Not even a single hair is left. I can't accept this. Hearing this, Ma Xingping knew that he had really lost. There was no turning back. But when he thought of the bet this time, he realized that he had bet all his wealth. Now that he had lost the battle, he had lost all his wealth and nothing was left. When he thought of this, he felt like a knife was twisting in his heart. With a pu sound, he actually coughed out a mouthful of blood and directly fainted on the ground. So, seeing this, sect leader Zhu Xian waved his hand and immediately brought Ma Guowei, Ma Shengping, and Ma Mingho away for treatment. After all, they were Qinquan sect's elders, law phase realm experts. They were important forces of the Qinquan sect and couldn't die here. When the spectators saw this scene, they all shook their heads. Sigh, Elder Ma and the others can be considered strong, but junior brother Xia is even more monstrous. It's not an injustice that he lost. Gambling is harmful. Looking at Elder Ma and the others, we know how harmful gambling is. Thousands of years of accumulation, and now it's gone in a single night. I've lost everything. How lamentable. At least Elder Ma and the others are law phase realm experts. They still have a chance to make a comeback. I have a deep understanding of gambling. Gambling harms both oneself and others. Yesterday, before I left, my stomach was churning. At that time, I gambled that gambling was just a fart. In the end, I lost completely. Everyone discussed and felt pity for Elder Ma and the others. They could have challenged anyone, but they actually dared to challenge Xiaoping. This was purely courting death. So-called monstrous geniuses were those who were unreasonable and surpassed common sense. No matter how unwilling they were, the result was the result. They couldn't change it. Chapter 1698. A day later, the news of Xiaoping defeating the Transcendence Realm elders spread throughout the Qinquan sect. It swept through the 6 major starfields like a hurricane and caught the attention of countless people. Everyone was completely shocked by this fact. Unbelievable. The Dark North Saint's eldest disciple, Xiaoping, defeated the Transcendence Realm elders and won against 3. You must be joking. I remember that he just joined the Qinquan sect not long ago. I can't believe he has grown so much. Too fast. His cultivation speed is too fast. It's scary. Is this the aptitude of Saint's disciple? He's too monstrous. Doesn't he have any bottlenecks? Did he go easy on them? How would he go easy on them? I heard that this duel is related to a bet. If they lose, the 3 Transcendence Realm elders will have to hand over all their wealth. This is a bet that will cost them their entire family fortune. After the 3 elders lost, they became penniless. Their thousands of years of accumulation were destroyed. When they found out about this, they were so angry that they vomited 3 liters of blood. They haven't woken up yet. It seems that Xiaoping is indeed a monstrous genius of our Qinquan sect. As expected of a saint's disciple, the number 1 saint seed in the future. Defeating a Transcendence Realm elder at the Purity Returning Realm is unheard of. Previously, there was a guy called Wu Wudi who caused an uproar in the universe. He was extremely vicious and killed people like flies. I wonder how he compares to senior brother Xia. I'm not sure, but Wu Wudi is ferocious, while senior brother Xia is still inexperienced. I'm afraid he's still at a disadvantage. How can that Wu Wudi be compared to senior brother Xia? Wu Wudi has become a street rat that everyone wants to beat up. He doesn't dare to show his face at all. The path to sainthood is difficult, but senior brother Xia is different. He is a disciple of our Qinquan sect and has the protection of the Dark North Saint. If there are no accidents, he has a high chance of becoming a saint. Indeed, becoming a saint is the most important thing. So what if he's at the Martial Dao realm? If he doesn't become a saint, he'll just be an ant. In time, senior brother Xiao will be able to surpass that so-called Wu Wuti with ease. That brat will be left in the dust and will only be left to eat dust. The Qinkuan sect disciples discussed animatedly. They were extremely excited. That was because the gap between them and Xiaoping was just too great. He was like a god, and even if they wanted to be jealous, they couldn't. They weren't on the same level. Therefore, they only had respect for Xiaoping. They admired him and prostrated themselves before him. After all, if Xiaoping grew up and even became a saint, it would be of great benefit to them as well. It would make the heaven and earth sect even more powerful and prosperous. Staying under the tree that was the heaven and earth sect, they would naturally feel more comfortable and obtain endless benefits. Some of the disciples who entered the Qinkuan sect at the same time as Xiaoping, especially the disciples who were in the top 10, were all speechless. They originally wanted to catch up to Xiaoping and take revenge for the humiliation they suffered back then. Who would have thought that Xiaoping would leave them in the dust and not give them a chance to catch up? At this moment, their hearts were also very complicated, as if a bottle of 5 flavors had been overturned. There were all kinds of ups and downs. It wasn't just the Qinkuan sect's disciples who knew about this. The internet had no borders. In this era, once any news appeared, it was impossible to hide it. It would spread out at superluminal speed. In just a day, it had spread throughout the Eastern Universe and was known by all the major sects and families in the Eastern Universe. Even some of the sects and forces in the Northern Universe, Southern Universe, and Western Universe had heard about this. After all, they were competitors with the Eastern Universe and had once had enmity with each other. Naturally, they would pay attention to all kinds of information from the Eastern Universe. Looks like a peerless genius has appeared in the Eastern Universe's Qinkuan sect, defeating a Dharma adept with a pure essence, and 1 against 3 at that, showing an overwhelming advantage. This is really rare. It's definitely not an exaggeration to say that this kid is a peerless genius. Is there something fishy going on? A pure essence defeating a Dharma adept, and a veteran elder at that? This is too exaggerated. There's already a video on the internet. You can go take a look. What you see is real. In my opinion, there's no possibility of it being fake. Moreover, he's barehanded and didn't use any treasures. What? He didn't even use any treasures? Is this a joke? I thought he used a divine implement, so it's not impossible for him to defeat a Dharma adept. Now, he defeated a Dharma adept with his bare hands. This is a little terrifying. There are countless geniuses in the universe, so this kind of thing is not difficult to understand. Let's not talk about the endless peerless geniuses in the central universe, which far surpasses our 4 major universes. Take the peerless genius Wu Wuti, for example. I believe everyone has seen his battles and heard of his achievements. Killing a lightning tribulation as a golden core is even more shocking. Of course, even if he didn't rely on his own battle power and had the help of treasures, it's enough to prove how terrifying Wu Wuti is. He's definitely an invincible figure in the world. Compared to that, Xiaoping's appearance is not difficult to accept. In fact, I think it's normal. Normal my ass. Such a genius appearing in the Eastern Universe's Qinkuan sect is not a good thing for the Southern Universe, the Northern Universe, and the Western Universe. Who knows, there might be another saint in the Eastern Universe in the future. I heard that Xiaoping is the personal disciple of Dark North Old Devil. What? Is there such a thing? He's actually the personal disciple of Dark North Old Devil? Then it's not surprising that he has such strength. What do you mean by not surprising? He's even more dangerous now. If he follows Dark North Saint, won't he be going to heaven? We must think of a way to get rid of this Xiaoping. Otherwise, it will definitely cause a great disaster in the future. This time, he will also enter the heaven-reaching secret realm. That place is filled with danger. Perhaps we can use this opportunity to get rid of this scourge of the Eastern Universe in advance. Indeed, this is a great opportunity to openly destroy an enemy with potential. Many of the big shots of the forces were discussing this matter. Their threat level to Xiaoping immediately increased by several levels, especially those who had enmity with the Eastern Universe and the Qinkuan sect. Their killing intent rose, and they wanted to get rid of Xiaoping. They didn't want to see another figure comparable to Dark North Saint appear in the Chinquan sect. At this moment, on the other side, on a certain mysterious planet, it was the place where the Mad Slaughter Saint was located, the secret stronghold. He also heard the news, and his face was gloomy. I didn't expect that little bastard to grow to such a height in just a few years of seclusion. If I continue to let him go, I'm afraid he will become another Dark North Saint. That would be terrible. I definitely won't allow this to happen. If necessary, I should do it myself. The Mad Slaughter Saint's face was extremely gloomy. Previously, he had sent people to kill Xiaoping, but unfortunately, they failed. After that, he went into seclusion for a period of time. He didn't expect that after he came out of seclusion, in just a few short years, Xiaoping would be able to defeat a Dharma plane expert. This shocked him, and at the same time, he was filled with jealousy and hatred. Not only did Dark North Saint surpass him in strength, but even his disciple was about to surpass him as well. He definitely wouldn't let this happen. Chapter 1699, Yanhuang Peak. At this moment, Xiaoping ignored the noise of the outside world and returned to Yanhuang Peak, followed by Zhu Xian. Junior brother Xia, these are all the treasures of Elder Ma and the others. Although some are missing, most of them are here. Be careful. Sect Master Zhu Xian took out a spatial ring, which contained all the treasures of the 3 Ma elders. Thank you, head. Xiaoping nodded and scanned it with his divine sense. He sensed that the space ring was full of treasures, elixirs, spiritual herbs, ores, materials, spirit stones, magic treasures, and so on. Even the towering sky diagram of one-legged ox was there. The value of these treasures added up was enough to tempt any mighty figure in the Thunder Retribution realm. By the way, do you know when the heaven-accessing secret land will open this time? Zhu Xian asked. I don't know. Please tell me. Xiaoping looked at Zhu Xian. Zhu Xian said in a low voice, the heaven-accessing secret land will open in about a week. This time, there are many masters entering the heaven-accessing secret land. Millions of people, and even mighty figures in the Thunder Retribution realm may enter. So you must be very careful. Don't be targeted by other masters, or you'll be in danger. He warned Xiaoping about the danger of entering the heaven-accessing secret land. Once inside, not only the environment was full of danger, but also the people who entered the heaven-accessing secret land were enemies, who might be killed and robbed. Moreover, it was not only the human tribe who entered the heaven-accessing secret land, but also the mighty figures of countless races in the universe. These mighty figures and human beings hated each other more or less. It was not impossible for them to kill each other when they met. Ed, can only one person enter with a sky-reaching token? Can't you bring others in? Xiaoping asked curiously. He felt that if someone entered with a sky-reaching token and had a space magic treasure, they could smuggle a lot of people in. Of course not. Zhu Xian also saw through Xiaoping's thoughts. He smiled slightly and said, It's not that no one has thought about this. Someone once wanted to use a space magic treasure to bring a group of people in. But the problem is that the heaven-accessing secret area is a very unique secret area with its own rules of heaven and earth. The reason why you can enter it is that you have the treasure of the heaven-accessing token. If you carry the aura of the token, you will be regarded as a native creature of the heaven-accessing secret area. Therefore, if someone without a token enters the heaven-accessing secret land, he will be regarded as an outsider. Thunder tribulation will strike the intruder to death, just like a human body cleaning the germs in its body. He said that the space magic treasure could take people in, but the problem was that once these people came out of the space magic treasure and appeared in the heaven-accessing secret area, they would immediately be killed by the thunder punishment and could not survive. Of course, it was not a problem to stay in the spatial magic treasure, but if they could not come out, then it would be useless to bring it in, so no one would do such a useless thing. Sect leader, why do so many people want to enter the heaven-accessing place? What treasures are there in this place? Xiaoping was extremely curious about this, because it was not as if Elder Ma and the others did not know his background, but they still dared to offend him, wanting to obtain the heavenly token from him. It could be imagined that they believed that the opportunity to enter the heaven-accessing secret area was much greater than the danger of offending him. Therefore, even if they did offend him, they did not care as long as they could achieve their goal. This question is very simple. Sect leader Zhu Xian laughed and said, because there is a type of spirit fruit growing in the heaven-accessing secret area. It is called the longevity fruit. As the name implies, as long as one can consume this type of spirit fruit, they will immediately increase their lifespan by 10,000 years. Although this kind of spirit fruit could only be consumed 3 times in a lifetime, increasing one's lifespan by 30,000 years, one could imagine how precious this kind of spirit fruit was, causing one to drool. Especially some of the old monsters in the Thunder Tribulation realm. Their lifespans are almost up. If they can increase their lifespan by 30,000 years out of thin air, it will greatly increase their chances of breaking through to the Saint realm. Longevity fruit, increased lifespan. Hearing these words, Xiaoping suddenly understood. No wonder Elder Ma and the others were so crazy. It turned out that their lifespans were almost up. That was why they did not hesitate to enter the heaven-accessing secret area to search for the opportunity to obtain the longevity fruit. To be honest, although many experts in the universe had a long lifespan, there was still a limit. For example, a Violet Palace Realm cultivator could live for 1,000 years. A Fulfillment Realm cultivator could live for 2,000 years. A Divine Power Realm cultivator could live for 3,000 years. A Treasure Refining Realm cultivator could live for 5,000 years. A True Fire Realm cultivator could live for 7,000 years. And a Golden Core Realm cultivator could live for 10,000 years. Returning Nature Realm cultivators could live for 30,000 years. Transcendence Realm cultivators could live for 50,000 years. And Thunder Tribulation Realm experts could live for at least 100,000 years as long as they didn't die under the Heaven Tribulation. Of course, this was only the lifespan of the human clan experts. Some of the long-lived races in the universe had a lifespan that was several times longer than the human clan experts at the same realm. Some of the Thunder Tribulation Realm demons could even live for 1,000,000 years. But even so, before the countless races in the universe became saints, their lifespans were limited. The longevity fruit was also an incredible treasure to them. Xiaoping felt that his lifespan was also extremely long, even longer than ordinary divine beasts. His vitality was tyrannical, and even though he was only at the true returning realm, he could at least live for millions of years. If the Hell Golden Crow bloodline in his body advanced a step further, it would be easy for him to live for tens of millions of years, or even hundreds of millions of years. Longevity fruit, good stuff. Xiaoping's heart palpitated with excitement. To be honest, with his current strength and cultivation progress, the longevity fruit was not of much use to him. But to the people around him, especially his parents, the longevity fruit was an incredible treasure. If he could obtain the longevity fruit, it would definitely increase his parents' lifespans by a large amount. Although he knew that as long as he didn't become a saint, he would still die. The problem was that his parents would die a little later and live a little longer, so there was nothing wrong with that. Junior brother Xia, if you obtain the longevity fruit in the heaven-accessing secret realm, you can sell some to me if you have any extra. I will definitely give you a satisfactory price. Sect leader Zhu Xian said. Of course. Xiaoping nodded. Sect leader Zhu Xian did not think much of it, because he was just casually mentioning it. After all, obtaining the longevity fruit in the heaven-accessing secret realm was not a simple matter. Furthermore, even if he obtained the longevity fruit, there might not be many of them, and the other party might not be willing to sell them. Sect leader, how do we enter the heaven-accessing secret realm? Xiaoping asked. Very simple. Sect leader Zhu Xian said. 7 days later, this Tong Tian token will naturally have instructions. At that time, it will directly open a spatial tunnel and teleport you to the heaven-accessing secret realm. To be honest, the Tong Tian token itself was also a rare treasure. Chapter 1700. After chatting for a while, sect leader Zhu Xian told Xiaoping in detail some information about the heaven-accessing secret area. Then he quickly left Yanhuang Peak because he was busy with official business. Originally, Xiaoping thought that there might be people from the Qinquan sect who could travel together. However, because the heavenly ascension medallions were too hard to obtain, there were only slightly more than 1,000,000 of them scattered all over the universe. In the Qingquan sect, only Xia Ping could get a sky-reaching token this time, so he had to go to the heaven-accessing place alone. But it was not necessarily a bad thing. After all, he had many secrets on him, and he didn't want anyone else from the Qingquan sect to follow him. Master, don't eat the longevity fruit immediately after obtaining it. At this time, the green ox's voice sounded out, "Give me the longevity fruit, and with the help of other spirit medicines, you can refine a top-grade longevity pill. The medicinal strength will be greatly increased, and one longevity pill will be able to increase your lifespan by 33,333 years. If each person can consume 3 longevity pills, they will gain 100,000 years of lifespan. This is equivalent to the lifespan of a lightning tribulation realm powerhouse, so don't waste it." "Is there such a thing?" "Don't worry, if I get it, I won't eat it immediately." Xiaoping raised his eyebrows. He did not expect that the longevity pill he refined would actually increase its medicinal efficacy by more than 3 times. As expected of an alchemy technique, the effects were very powerful, and it was a supreme method to become rich. If he ate the longevity fruit on the spot, it would be like a cow chewing on a peony. It would be a huge waste. He couldn't help but sigh with emotion. If an ordinary person had a lifespan of 100,000 years, even a pig would be able to cultivate to become a spirit. One could imagine how precious the longevity pill was. If a thunder tribulation eminence consumed it, it would be equivalent to living another life. "Master." At this moment, a servant came over. "There's someone outside looking for Master. He seems to be a fatty. His name is Feng Hetong." "Feng Hetong? Let him in," Xiaoping said. A few minutes later, Feng Hetong walked in from outside. After not seeing him for a while, he seemed to have grown fatter. He was round like a ball. However, his body seemed to contain an extremely strong magical power. It was obvious that his cultivation had advanced by leaps and bounds during this period of time, and he had benefited greatly. "Big brother." Seeing Xiaoping, Feng Hetong immediately jogged over with a fawning look on his face. "Congratulations, big brother, for defeating Elder Ma and the others. You've become accomplished in both literature and martial arts. You've unified the world and are invincible." He was very skilled at bootlicking. "You're too kind. Actually, other than being handsome, I'm just a useless person," Xiaoping said modestly. Feng Hetong was immediately filled with admiration and respect. When it came to shamelessness, he couldn't even catch up to Xiaoping. "By the way, why are you here?" Xiaoping asked. "Big brother, this is the exact situation." Feng Hetong immediately got down to business. "Didn't we establish a force in the sky realm before? It's called the Flat Sky Sect, right? Right now, many brothers of the Pingtian sect are contacting me through the virtual network. They want to leave the cloud world and follow us to explore the universe. What do you think?" He looked at Xiaoping helplessly. To be honest, when he entered the universe, he felt very lonely. There were no helpers around him, and he was isolated and helpless. If the brothers of the Flat Sky sect of the Cloud Realm could come over, they would definitely be able to form a great force and help each other. In time, they would definitely be able to occupy a place in the universe. It's not impossible to roam the universe, but you also know how dangerous the universe is. There are countless geniuses and races. If you don't have enough talent, you're just cannon fodder. No matter how many die, it won't be enough," Xiaoping said in a low voice. "Big brother, the brothers of the Flat Sky sect have come to their senses. They'd rather die a heroic death than stay in the cloud world and die a mediocre death," Feng Hetong said seriously. He expressed that even if the brothers of the Flat Sky sect had low talent, they wouldn't give up and still wanted to roam the universe. Wait, this problem isn't impossible to solve. Suddenly, Xiaoping thought of the zombie beast he'd obtained before. If the zombie beast woke up, it might be able to turn these brothers of the Flat Sky sect into geniuses with the Tao Tai bloodline. Then, he would be able to form a Tao Tai army. Their talent was extremely high. As long as they ate enough food, they would be able to constantly increase their cultivation and advance by leaps and bounds. Of course, doing so would greatly reduce their chances of becoming a sage. The problem was that their talent was low to begin with. It was extremely difficult for them to even reach the divine realm. Now that there was a chance for them to climb to a higher realm, it was no less than a great fortuitous encounter. Moreover, he didn't need geniuses who could become sages. As long as his subordinates could reach the returning nature realm, the transcendence realm, or even the thunder retribution realm, it would be completely enough. Imagine if there were hundreds of thousands, millions, or even tens of millions of thunder retribution realm experts on planet Yanhuang. This was enough to scare any Saint-class force to death. Although they wouldn't be able to dominate the universe, they would at least have a place. Big brother, do you have any solution? Feng Hetang's eyes suddenly lit up. There is indeed a solution, but let's wait until the matter of the heaven-accessing secret land is over. At that time, I'll return to the cloud world. Xiaoping's eyes flickered. It seemed that after the heaven-accessing secret land was over, he would have to return to the cloud world no matter what. Okay, big brother. Feng Hetang nodded. With Xiaoping's guarantee, he immediately felt relieved. The two chatted for a while. Xiaoping went to cultivate in seclusion to prepare for the trip to the heaven-accessing secret land in a week. Meanwhile, Feng Hetang left Yanhuang Peak. As soon as he left Yanhuang Peak, dozens of Qinquan sect disciples immediately appeared in front of Feng Hetang. They all looked at Feng Hetang with admiration and surprise. Brother Feng, no, big brother Feng, I didn't expect you to be so familiar with senior brother Xia. You can even enter his residence whenever you want. A Qinquan sect disciple looked at Feng Hetang in awe. Hey, keep a low profile. We must keep a low profile. I have a good relationship with big brother Xia. We are friends of life and death. How can we casually tell others about this? Everyone, remember to keep his secret. Feng Hetang put on a serious face and began to bluff. Friends of life and death. Many Qinquan sect disciples were in awe. The way they looked at Feng Hetang was completely different. After all, who was Xiaoping? He was the last disciple of Dark North Saint. Now, he was a returning nature realm expert. He was a peerless genius who defeated 3 Transcendence Realm Elders. He was a sage seed. Such a person was the prince of Qinquan sect. He was second only to one and above millions. In time, if he became a sage, he would be an emperor. And Feng Hetang was actually very familiar with Xiaoping. He was equivalent to a trusted aide of the prince, a eunuch and a loyal lackey. Who would dare to offend such a relationship? Even if the elders of the sect knew about this, they would have to look at Feng Hetang in a different light. Brother Feng, I initially thought you were just an ordinary fatty. I didn't expect your relationship to be so deep. You even have a relationship with senior brother Xia. You are not simple. From today onwards, you are my brother. We will share blessings and misfortunes. Big brother Feng, you must put in a good word for us in front of senior brother Xia in the future. We really admire him. Actually, I could tell that brother Feng was not ordinary. With one look, I could tell that you are a great general. Your future is boundless. I just happened to get a jug of 1,000-year-old pure ice jade wine and an ice fire chicken. I wonder if brother Feng is interested in having a meal with us? The group of Qinquan sect disciples fawned on him. They wanted to build a relationship and become friends of scoundrels. Hey, you are too courteous. It is just an insignificant relationship. But since you guys are so passionate, it is hard for me to reject your hospitality. Let's eat together then. Feng Hetang was very proud of himself. The feeling of a fox borrowing the might of a tiger was really satisfying. Chapter 17:01. At this moment, in the quiet room of Yanhuang Peak, Xiaoping was taking inventory of the large number of treasures he had obtained from Ma Guowei, Ma Shengping, and Ma Mingho. It could only be said that they were indeed Transcendence Realm cultivators. The number of treasures they had was simply innumerable. Just the value of the treasures alone was more than 30 billion universe dollars. As for some rare materials, peerless pills, and powerful treasures, these treasures could not be described with money at all. They could only be obtained by bartering. Not bad. Looks like these 3 cosmic sect elders are very rich. They actually obtained so many spirit herbs. The green ox also took inventory of the treasures and was very excited. Ice thorn grass, sorcerer's enchantment flower, summer wilt grass, knotweed, northern grass crow, and so on. These are all rather rare spirit herbs. The mountain river pearl doesn't have them yet, so they can make up for the lack. There are also a few supplementary spirit herbs for refining the longevity pill. This is really great. He guessed that perhaps the Ma clan's third elder also planned to refine the longevity pill, so he prepared some pills related to the longevity pill. Otherwise, it would not be such a coincidence. They also have a lot of rare materials. Corinne's eyes lit up as well. 1,000 feet of silk, emerald sand, 3-star stone, red smelted fire copper, dark flower purple crystal, and other rare ores. These are all rare treasures in the universe. Money might not be able to buy them. With these materials, I believe we can speed up the repair of the multitude star and let it return to its peak state. He was very emotional. He had originally thought that it would take at least tens of thousands of years to repair the multitude star, but in just a few years, the repair speed of the multitude star exceeded his imagination. After all, Xiaoping had obtained countless treasures over the years, and some of them were used by him to repair the spaceship. It believed that when Xiaoping became stronger and obtained more treasures, the multitude star might once again be able to display the power of a Saint-grade spaceship and dominate the universe. Take all of them. Xiaoping was very generous and not stingy at all. This was because these treasures were not very useful for improving his cultivation. At his current wealth, mere transcendent treasures could not compare to him at all. The other party was a complete pauper. Of course, not all treasures were useless. This peerless spirit weapon, the Kuei Neo Heavenly Diagram, was of great use to him. Through observing the Kuei Ox aspect, this magic treasure could condense the power of thunder and explode with a terrifying thunder array. If it could be upgraded to its peak state, that kind of power would be terrifying. With the help of this magical treasure and the Chaos Thunder Art, he was able to comprehend many of the profound mysteries of thunder and lightning, which was very beneficial to his cultivation of thunder and lightning. Moreover, he could feel that the infernal golden crow bloodline in his body had increased to more than 9 million cells, and it was not far from 10 million cells. Once the number of golden crow hell cells reached 10 million, a terrifying heavenly tribulation would be inevitable. 1 week later, Xiaoping woke up from his closed-door cultivation. After this period of cultivation, he felt that his magic power had increased by a portion. The 9 primordial spirits on his body were all absorbing the energy of the dimensional space. It was like an energy whirlpool, causing his cultivation to advance by leaps and bounds. The cultivation speed of others couldn't compare to his at all. He was becoming stronger every second. If he continued to cultivate for a few more years, he would be able to reach the peak of the returning truth realm without much difficulty. However, he did not choose to continue cultivating. After all, the heaven-accessing secret land was about to open. Master seems to be still in closed-door cultivation. Xiaoping originally wanted to talk to North Sea Saint and tell him about his doubts about his cultivation, but it seemed that North Sea Saint was still in closed-door cultivation and could not be contacted. He could only choose to give up. During this period of time, Nangong Wu, Qiu Shue, and Sume had also become familiar with the environment of the Heaven and Earth sect. Now everyone in the Heaven and Earth sect knew that they were Xiaoping's mates. Therefore, no one dared to provoke them in the Heaven and Earth sect. They all regarded them as Xiaoping's exclusive property. They lived a good life, which was many times better than staying in the Moon Pavilion. Now, the 3 of them also often went to the various lecture halls of the Heaven and Earth sect to listen to the lessons of the elders of the Heaven and Earth sect. They were very busy and had a lot of experience and knowledge of cultivation. There was no need to say much about Feng Hetong. Relying on his relationship with Xiaoping, he had become a boss-level figure in front of many new disciples. Many true disciples and elders had to give him some face. Buzz, suddenly, the supreme heaven token on his body trembled, broke the space, and floated above his head, releasing wisps of golden light. The heaven-accessing secret land is about to open. Trial taker, please get ready. Immediately, a mechanical voice came from the supreme heaven token, shaking the surrounding space. Boom! The next second, an ancient and complicated formation emerged from the token, covering the whole Yanhuang Peak. Then a void door opened, connecting to the void. Xiaoping narrowed his eyes. He sensed that this space passage led to an ancient plane world, transmitting waves of war and killing intent, as well as waves of terrible demonic aura. Indistinctly, one could hear the roars of a powerful army, the cries of ghosts and howls of wolves, and the roars of storms and thunder. It was as if there was a terrible battlefield inside. This was the heaven-accessing secret land. It was said that this secret land was a plane world left by an invincible sage. It was extremely mysterious and had countless treasures. It became a battlefield for tens of thousands of races. When the ancient war, the demons from the abyss invaded. In order to avoid destroying countless planets in the universe, the sages lured the demons from the abyss into the heaven-accessing secret land and fought with them. The sky fell and the earth cracked. The sun and the moon lost their light, and everything collapsed. Of course, in the end, all the demons from the abyss were buried in the heaven-accessing secret land. Many sages also died in it, which made the heaven-accessing secret land more dangerous and complicated, and also produced more magical treasures, which made countless practitioners drool. Going, Xiaoping stood up and entered the space passage without hesitation. With a whoosh, the door closed, and the space passage disappeared quickly. Has the heaven-accessing secret land started? At this time, the vibration of the supreme heaven token naturally attracted the attention of many big shots of the Qinquan sect. Zhu Xian, the sect leader, also opened his eyes, revealing a glimmer of light. But they all knew that this was a strange phenomenon when the heaven-accessing secret land opened, so they didn't make a fuss. Junior brother Xia finally went to the heaven-accessing secret land. It is said that this time, the heaven-accessing secret land is not ordinary. Many old monsters went in. Will Junior brother Xia be in danger? Don't worry. Junior brother Xia is a person with great luck. He won't die so easily. Indeed, as long as he doesn't meet the mighty figures of the Thunder Tribulation realm, Junior brother Xia won't be afraid. I can feel that Junior brother Xia contains a big secret and has countless trump cards. I still hope that Junior brother Xia will be careful. There are many foreign experts who want to kill him. Danger lurks everywhere. Chapter 1702. Whiz. At this moment, Xiaoping's figure flashed, passing through the spatial passageway and completely entering the heaven-reaching secret realm. The moment he entered, he immediately felt that this world was not ordinary. The entire world was incomparably sturdy, as if there were many heaven and earth great formations and restrictions set up. Ordinary powers could forget about destroying a single blade of grass or tree in this world. Dong! Xiaoping stepped on the ground and immediately encountered a huge obstacle. With a clanging sound, it was as if metal had collided, and a 1-meter-long crater appeared on the ground. If it was an ordinary planet, this stomp of his would be enough to create a crater that was dozens of miles deep. Stepping on a mountain would cause dozens of cracks to appear, forming an abyss. However, this was only a 1-meter diameter crater. The contrast was simply too great. Bang! Xiaoping once again punched a nearby rock. With a cautious sound, the entire rock only cracked open, and the sound of metal colliding could be heard as sparks flew in all directions. Although he did not use his full strength, the power of this punch was enough to shatter a mountain. Now, it could only create a crack. It was simply inconceivable. What a sturdy substance. There's a mysterious restriction array inside. I'm afraid even ordinary Jindan stage spiritual masters won't be able to cause much damage to this place. Xiaoping squinted his eyes. His divine sense could sense that this world was enveloped by a mysterious and unfathomable ancient restriction, and it was precisely because of the existence of these restrictions that this world was indestructible. Of course, it was not only because of the power of the restriction. The matter of this world itself was also extremely tyrannical, and ordinary powers could not even leave a mark on it. What a desolate world. Xiaoping looked around and immediately saw that everything within a radius of 10,000 li was in a state of desolation. There were potholes everywhere, just like the surface of the moon. There were many potholes, and it was incomparably desolate. Not a single plant grew, and everything within a radius of 10,000 li was dead silent. There was no sign of human habitation. He could feel that there was a tragic aura in the air within these potholes. There was a faint tyrannical will to fight that was imprinted in the air. It could be imagined that there had been countless tragic battles in this place. Even after they died, the will and aura they emitted were still imprinted in the air and had not disappeared for hundreds of thousands of years. But where exactly is the longevity fruit? One of the reasons why Xiaoping entered the heavenly secret realm was to find a longevity fruit. The problem was that not many people knew where the longevity fruit appeared. After all, once the longevity fruit appeared, it would immediately be swarmed by countless supreme experts, crazily snatching it and plundering it clean. Therefore, every time he entered the heaven-reaching secret realm, he would need to find the place where the longevity fruit grew. However, some supreme expert could find the place where the longevity fruit grew according to the characteristics of the longevity fruit, increasing the probability of finding the longevity fruit. Xiaoping, there's no need to be anxious. Corinne said, as long as the news of the longevity fruit appears, it will definitely spread like wildfire and everyone will know about it. At that time, we can naturally follow the vine to the melon and even fish in troubled waters. You're right. Xiaoping nodded his head. He felt that he first needed to find the other trial takers who had entered the heaven-reaching secret realm. Only by joining hands with these people would he have any hope of obtaining news of the longevity fruit. Perhaps not every trial taker was friendly, and they might even be enemies. However, what he was best at was turning enemies into friends. If they weren't convinced, he would beat them into submission. After teaching them a lesson, he believed that they would be willing to cooperate with him. Xiaoping, there seems to be mana fluctuations in front of us. There are people fighting. Suddenly, Corinne sensed a strong battle ripple 10,000 miles away, as if someone was fighting. Let's go take a look. Xiaoping's eyes lit up. He had also sensed that there were battle ripples coming from 10,000 miles away. His body flashed, transforming into a Kuan Peng and flying towards the battlefield. Whiz! A few minutes later, he passed through many mountains and arrived at a valley. Boom! But just as Xiaoping entered the valley, a large array instantly enveloped him, covering a radius of 1,000 miles. It was like an eggshell, sealing off the void without any blind spots. Duqian raging flame formation. Xiaoping squinted his eyes. He could immediately tell that this was a tyrannical restriction array. In the depths of the void, there were dense flames everywhere, forming an inescapable net. In the depths of this inescapable net, at the nodes of the array, there were dozens of experts guarding it, all of them emitting a tyrannical aura, at least at the returning true realm. This kind of array was very powerful, absorbing the power of the raging flames in the void. Once it exploded, it would burn the 5 regions for 1,000 miles. Even a Transcendence Realm expert might be burned alive. And these experts were not humans. They were all demons. They were the elites of the Western Universe's demon race, including the wolf race, leopard race, tiger race, goat race, crocodile race, and so on. Their eyes flickered, revealing an aura of greed, slaughter, bloodthirst, violence, and so on. They were incomparably crazy, ready to devour anyone. Aha! I didn't expect human fools to be fooled. Some leopard race elites laughed excitedly, staring at Xiaoping with bloodthirst. I already said that if we pretend this place is a battle, there will definitely be curious people coming over, trying to profit from the fight. As expected of Lang Beijiang, he is indeed an expert at seeing through people's hearts. I reckon they won't even know that this is a trap. It is our Western Universe's demon race lying in ambush here, a method to hunt our enemies. Entering the heaven-accessing secret realm to search for treasures is a lowly method. Only by killing people and snatching treasures can we obtain the most treasures. There is no risk and many benefits. Jia. Everyone who can enter the heaven-accessing secret realm is basically a monster, overflowing with wealth. Killing one of them will give us a huge harvest, no less than a fortuitous encounter. I can't believe there is such a good thing waiting for us in the world. Our luck is too good. As the saying goes, if we don't accept the gift of the heavens, how can we not accept the benefits that are delivered to our door? Aren't we stupid? The heaven-accessing secret area is actually a battlefield of slaughter. You can strengthen yourself by hunting the elites of tens of thousands of races. This is the true meaning of the trial in the heaven-accessing secret area, rather than exploring the secret area and obtaining treasures. It's this human's bad luck to run into us demons. Kill this human and plunder all his treasures. Many demon race elites laughed evilly, their eyes revealing ferocity as they looked at Xiaoping mockingly. It was as if they were looking at a turtle in a jar, an insect that they could easily pinch to death. They clearly had victory in their grasp. The leader was the Wolf Clan's young master, Lang Beijiang. He was at the mid-stage of the Transcendence realm and was 5 meters tall. There was a vertical eye on his forehead that emitted a terrifying divine light. It seemed like once he opened it, he would release a world-shaking power. Chapter 17:03. Who are you people? How dare you ambush me here? How dare you? Xiaoping took a step forward and stared at the elites of the demon race. He spoke arrogantly. Do you know that I'm the disciple of the Cosmos Sex Dark North Saint? If you dare to offend me, you will suffer in the future. If you know what's good for you, scram immediately. Don't make me angry, or you won't know how severe the consequences are. He revealed his identity to scare the demons. Hearing these words, the group of Demon Clan elites were stunned. They didn't expect this human to be so arrogant. He was obviously surrounded by them and fell into a trap. He was ambushed from all sides and had a slim chance of survival. Not only did this human not kneel down and beg for mercy, he even dared to threaten them, saying that they were very bold. Now, who was the bold one? You better recognize it clearly. Foolish human, I don't care who you are. Once you fall into our hands, you will be stuck between life and death. You still want to threaten us? What a joke. Do you think you're the only one with a sage supporting you? Our clan also has a demonic sage. Do you know what this place is? This is the heaven-accessing secret area. Every living creature who can enter this secret area has a powerful background. You want to kill us all? You must be blinded by lard. Do you know what you are capable of? Instantly, the group of elites of the Fiend clan cursed and glared at Xiaoping angrily. Wait, you're a Dark North Saint's disciple? Could you be the human race's Xiaoping, who defeated his own sex law phase realm elder? The Wolf Clan's young master, Lang Beijiang, stared at Xiaoping with a glimmer of light in his eyes. It was knowledgeable and had a lot of information. Moreover, it was an enemy of the Eastern universe, so it had naturally collected a lot of information about human prodigies, including information about Xiaoping. Although Xiaoping was only a cultivator at the returning truth realm, he was still very young and was able to challenge those at a higher cultivation level. His monstrous talent had attracted the attention of tens of thousands of races. In time to come, he might become another human saint. For the other races, this was a tremendous threat that was intolerable. That's right, I'm Xiaoping. I won't change my name or surname. What's wrong? You're scared now that you know who you've offended? If you are willing to be my slave, it is not impossible to appease my anger. Let your race have a chance to survive. Xiaoping stood with his hands behind his back. Bulsh asterisk T, bastard human. I've only given you some face, and you want to open a dye shop? You're asking for a mile after taking an inch? You want to take me, Lang Beijiang, as a slave? Do you have the qualifications? How could the wolf race's young master, Lang Beijiang, endure such humiliation? He immediately flew into a rage and said with a ferocious expression, Do you know that you are now on the must-kill list of our Western universe's major races? As long as we kill you, we will immediately obtain a generous reward from the demon sages. It is no less than a great fortuitous encounter. You still dare to brazenly appear in front of me, Lang Beijiang? Isn't this the same as a sheep entering a tiger's den? You actually dare to threaten me? Do you not know how to spell the word death? Its body was filled with a terrifying, murderous aura. The surrounding demon race elites were also eyeing Xia Ping covetously. They originally thought that they were going to hunt down an ordinary human, but they didn't expect that a huge fat sheep would appear. It was as if the heavens were helping them. How lucky was this? This is not a threat, but a fact. If you don't want to die, then scram. This is advice. Xiaoping narrowed his eyes. Advise your sister. Go die. The wolf race's young master, Lang Beijiang, sneered. With a loud clang, a snow-white saber was unsheathed and cut through the sky. It was like a Dao technique that could split the heavens and earth. The saber Dao was divine. Martial Dao technique. Heavenly wolf star shattering saber. As the saber descended, a river of stars that spanned thousands of miles seemed to appear in the depths of the vast saber light. Countless stars appeared within it and exploded inch by inch, as if they had been chopped into countless fragments. It contained the power to destroy the primal chaos and tear apart the void. The saber energy's sharpness was breathtaking. It was earth-shattering, tearing apart ghosts and gods. It displayed an unfathomable power and contained a supreme saber Dao technique. It had the momentum to shake mountains and rivers. In particular, his third eye suddenly opened and shot out a divine light that shone on Xia Ping's body. At this moment, it was as if everything in the world had slowed down. No matter the trajectory of any object, it couldn't escape the pursuit of this eye. This was the three-eyed wolf race's bloodline technique, God Wolf Eye. With this eye and his almost divine saber technique, Lang Beijiang was unstoppable. Even among Law Fei's realm experts of the same level, he had an extremely tyrannical combat strength. So. Streams of saber energy that were like a long river came crashing down from the sky, sealing off all of Xia Ping's movements. There were no blind spots. It was an inescapable net. If he was hit, his entire body would be torn apart, and even the stars would be split in half. Foolish human, you actually dared to anger the wolf race's young master. You don't even know how to write the word death. What a pitiful fellow. He met us right after entering the heavenly secret realm. This human genius's lifespan has come to an end. The more human geniuses die, the better. Kill one if you see one. I didn't expect our luck to be so good. We just entered the heavenly secret realm, and we already met a fat sheep. This is a good omen for our luck. Maybe we can even obtain a dozen or so longevity fruits. Many of the demon clan elites sneered again and again. Their eyes were ferocious, and they looked at Xia Ping as if they were looking at a dead man. They reckoned that this human genius would soon be killed by Lang Beijiang. Furthermore, they didn't even need to use their formation. Just one person would be able to kill this arrogant human. But right at this moment, when the saber light slashed in front of Xia Ping, a big hand suddenly slapped out. It was earth-shattering, as if the giant palm of a god was crushing over, and any sound of breaking through the air stopped. Boom! Immediately, these saber lights were instantly crushed into pieces, and Lang Beijiang seemed to be unable to withstand the backlash, and couldn't help but spit out a mouthful of blood. Impossible! You are just a human at the returning reality realm, yet you can shatter my heavenly wolf star shattering blades saber chi with a single palm. What kind of tyrannical power is this? Lang Beijiang's eyes widened in disbelief. He could feel that his saber chi had been forcefully shattered by this human's violence. It was completely shattered into dust and destroyed with a destructive force that was above him. If this human used a peerless spirit weapon, he might have a chance of doing so. But right now, he was able to shatter his saber Dao sacred art with his bare hands. This was too absurd. Whiz! Xia Ping didn't say anything to him. His figure flashed as he pressed forward and punched out with a punch. In the depths of the void, there seemed to be a divine elephant that had walked out from hell, roaring, shaking heaven and earth, and shaking the void. Wanting to attack me is simply a joke. In front of my god wolf eyes, all movements are as slow as a baby. Your attacks are completely useless against me. No, that's not right. What's going on? Why are you so fast? Chapter 1704. So fast. Lang Beijiang was terrified to the extreme. His hair stood on end, and all the cells in his body were trembling, as if he was facing the Grim Reaper. It was as if his soul had been frozen. This wasn't because his god wolf eyes weren't powerful enough, but because Xiaoping's speed was just too fast. Even the speed of lightning wasn't enough to describe it. His eyes clearly saw the trajectory of Xiaoping's fist, but by the time he saw it, the fist had already arrived in front of his chest. What was left on his retina was just an afterimage. Even if he saw it, it was useless because this speed exceeded his reflexes. Before he could think of a counterattack, the fist had already arrived. Boom! This fist was extremely fierce. It condensed the attack of a divine elephant and mobilized 90% of Xiaoping's sea of consciousness's magic power. The power that erupted could move mountains and fill the seas. Even a law phase realm expert wouldn't be able to block such a violent fist. It was like being trampled by a divine elephant. Even a planet would be torn apart. Rumble, the void shook, and Lang Beijiang let out a miserable scream. His chest was instantly penetrated by the fist, and blood spurted out like it was free. Impossible, I'm dead. Lang Beijiang's eyes widened as if he couldn't believe it. He stared at the fist that penetrated his chest. An intense pain spread throughout his body, stinging every cell. However, because of the tyrannical vitality of a law phase realm expert, he wouldn't die for a while. Yes, you're already dead. Xiaoping's expression was calm. Impossible. I, Lang Beijiang, am a young master of the Wolf Clan, a mid-level law phase realm expert. I have cultivated for 8,000 years and am a genius with hopes of becoming a beast sage. How can I die now? Impossible. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Lang Beijiang looked up to the sky and howled, feeling extremely unwilling. Boom! Xiaoping didn't speak to him. He retracted his fist, which vibrated and immediately exploded. Before Lang Beijiang realized what had happened, a ball of energy exploded and his entire body was blown into pieces. He turned into minced meat and completely disappeared from this world. The other elites of the demon race also saw this scene. They saw Xiaoping punching Lang Beijiang to death, his entire body exploding. All of them stared at him in disbelief, unable to restrain their anger. Bastard! Bastard human! He actually dared to kill Lang Beijiang. This is a death grudge. This is a death grudge that won't end until he dies. Kill this mixed breed human and take revenge for Lang Beijiang. Tear apart his body and eat his flesh and blood. Not only will this bastard human die, but his family will also die. Kill his entire family. Activate the sky-scorching inferno formation. Burn him to death. Turn him into ashes. The Demon Clan elites were furious. They had thought that Xiaoping was a fish on the chopping block, a fish in a jar, and could only be slaughtered as they pleased without any ability to resist. But now this brat was extremely savage. He was like a tiger in sheep's clothing. He had actually blown up Lang Beijiang with a single punch, killing the wolf race's young master. They didn't even have the time to save him. This was simply slapping their faces right in front of their faces, slapping them in the face. If this matter were spread out, then what face would they have left? Would they still be able to show their faces? Thinking of this, these Demon Clan elites immediately took action. They formed seals with their hands and imbued their magic power, immediately activating the sky-scorching inferno formation. The formation immediately began to operate. With a rumbling sound, it absorbed the power of the raging flames in the air. Wave after wave of terrifying flames shot out, intertwining with each other, forming a huge flame net. Boom! These flames were densely packed and bombarded down like raindrops, covering a radius of 1,000 miles. Each drop of flame was like a cannonball, containing a terrifying destructive power. Even a high-grade defensive spirit treasure could not withstand it. In an instant, it would be engulfed by the flames and completely destroyed. Whoosh! Xiaoping soared into the sky. Without dodging, he rushed into the middle of the dense flame formation. He activated the golden crow of hell bloodline in his body, and immediately, a golden crow of Hell Yuan Shun appeared above his head. The golden infernal crow let out a cry as it flapped its wings, forming a huge vortex that produced a terrifying, devouring power. In an instant, a huge amount of fire energy was rapidly devoured, making it its own. The power of the entire formation was also rapidly weakened, as if all of its energy had been sucked away. After a few breaths, the flames that covered 1,000 miles were completely devoured. Not a bad meal. Xiaoping burped. He felt that after devouring the flame energy of the grand, blazing inferno formation, the power in his body rose steadily, as if he had consumed a 10,000-year-old spiritual medicine. He felt that his body was filled with energy, as if it contained infinite power. Even the golden crow of hell cells in the depths of his body were awakening, increasing the density of his bloodline. Ah, monster! This human is a monster. The grand blazing inferno formation could not kill him, and instead, it was devoured by him. Where did this human monster come from? How could he do something like this? Illusion. This must be an illusion. Devouring the flames of the grand blazing inferno formation, even the phoenix race can't do something like this. What kind of structure is his body made of? We shouldn't have come. We shouldn't have ambushed him. How is this a sheep? He's basically a dragon. Only a fierce dragon can cross a river. Looking at this unimaginable scene, many geniuses of the demon race broke down, completely losing control of their emotions. They had used all their strength, and yet they could not kill this human. Instead, they were easily dealt with by him. He even ate the flames as if they were dessert, as if they were giving him food. In that case, what else could they do to kill this human? Retreat. Retreat immediately. Inform the elders of the race and get them to attack and kill this bastard human. We can't fight to the death with him here and die for no reason. One of the geniuses of the demon race roared, requesting for an immediate retreat. He instinctively felt that there was a huge gap between him and this demon-like human in front of him. It was almost impossible to make up for. Even if dozens of elites of the demon race attacked together, they would not be a match for this human. Staying behind would only mean death. I'll cover the retreat. You guys hurry and escape. Remember to get the elders of the race to come and avenge me. Kill this demon-like human. This is the greatest enemy of the demon race. My death alone is not enough. You guys must bring back reinforcements and kill this human. Some geniuses of the demon race were unafraid of death and stayed behind to cover the retreat, allowing the other geniuses of the demon race to escape. Trying to escape? Get reinforcements? Do you think this is a game? All of you die. Xiaoping's figure flashed like a golden crow from hell. Terrifying flames burned the 5 regions, and the land was red for thousands of miles. His fist technique contained the power of the divine elephant, making him invincible. Bang, bang, bang. In an instant, the air exploded, and the entire grand blazing inferno formation was destroyed. Those geniuses of the demon race could not even move a step and were all blown up like fireworks, turning into meat paste. Chapter 1705. This battle completely shocked the heaven-accessing secret land. Although Xia Ping, Lang Beijiang, and the other elites of the demon clan were all killed, the heaven-accessing secret land was still connected to the virtual network and could communicate with each other. Therefore, Lang Beijiang and the others still sent the news to their respective elders before they died. This immediately caused an uproar. First, the Chinquan sect leader and many elders received the news. CK, it can't be. He just entered the heaven-accessing secret land and already made such big news. He even killed the young master of the Wolf clan, Lang Beijiang, and killed all his friends. He is so cruel. Junior brother Xia is so powerful. Zhu Xian, the sect master, was startled and shocked. He had seen the battle between Xiaoping and the Ma family's 3rd elder, but after all, it was not a battle of life and death. Many of Xiaoping's trump cards were not used, so he did not know Xiaoping's specific abilities. But now, even Lang Beijiang, a power at the middle stage of the Transcendence realm, and all his friends were slaughtered. It was conceivable that Xiaoping's combat power was absolutely not to be underestimated. When Ma Guowei, Ma Shengping, and Ma Mingho heard the news, their faces turned ashen. Xiaoping was so powerful that he could kill a power in the transcendence realm. They had no hope of revenge in this life. Moreover, he was so strong now. When Xiaoping opened the heaven-accessing secret land and obtained supreme benefits, wouldn't he be even more monstrous? At that time, they would be left in the dust. Who could stop him? But junior brother Xia is really in the limelight. He will become the target of public criticism. Elder Lu Cheng frowned and was a little worried. It is said that when the heaven-accessing secret land opens this time, there will be many experts. Some old monsters who are nearing the end of their lifespans will also enter with the heavenly token. He is in the limelight, killing everywhere and stirring up trouble. I am afraid he will be besieged by some old monsters. At that time, junior brother Xia may be in danger. Many elders nodded. They were also worried about this. What are you afraid of? What can you achieve if you are afraid of the slightest thing? Zhu Xian waved his hand and said, "If they dare to provoke us, we will kill them all. Are we going to persuade them to retreat? On the path of cultivation, how could one retreat? Taking a step back would mean death. What's more, the heaven-accessing place is very big. Those old monsters are scattered all over the place, so it's not easy for them to meet junior brother Xia. We don't have to worry too much. After all, they could not enter the heaven-accessing place to help. They could only wish Xia Ping good luck. You don't have to worry about the other old monsters, but the father of the wolf tribe's young master Lang Beijiang, the wolf tribe's patriarch Lang Garen, is a mighty figure in the Thunder Retribution realm. It is said that he also sneaked into the heaven-accessing secret area this time. Elder Lu Cheng said in a low voice, "If that Lang Garen were to receive this news, he would probably fly into a rage and act against junior brother Xia. I think we should remind him. Don't worry, I've sent this news over. Tell him to be more careful and watch out for Wolf Garen's revenge." Sect Master Zhu Xian waved his hand. He had already expected this and had already sent the news to Xia Ping through the virtual network. In another place in the heaven-accessing secret land, this was a secret world, a micro-world formed by the fall of the sage. It was surrounded by a gloomy, strange, and terrifying aura, which made people's hearts palpitate. It was as if the depths of this world contained the aura of a demon, and from time to time, the roars of a demon could be heard. At this moment, 5 or 6 old monsters in the Thunder Retribution realm appeared in this place. One of them was the wolf tribe's patriarch, Lang Garen. "Lang Garen, your son has been killed. Aren't you going to avenge him?" The one who spoke was the Weasel clan's leader, Mouse Hero. He was a Thunder Retribution realm expert, and his cultivation was not inferior to Lang Garen's. "Shut up. If you don't speak, no one will treat you as a mute." Lang Garen snorted coldly. "Revenge is just a small matter. Exploring this secret realm and obtaining the longevity fruit is the most important thing. We can't be delayed by other matters." As the patriarch of the wolf tribe, he had already lived for a long time. Even though the lifespan of the demon clan was longer than that of the human clan, there would still be a time when he would reach the end of his lifespan. In about 1,000 years, its lifespan would come to an end. To a Thunder Tribulation realm supreme expert, this amount of time was like a flick of a finger, causing it to be incomparably terrified. It used all its might to try and obtain the longevity fruit. The other Thunder Retribution realm experts were the same. They were all a group of old men who were approaching the end of their lifespans. Therefore, even though Lang Beijiang had been killed, it did not give up on its plan to seek revenge. After all, it had lived for such a long time and had countless descendants. Lang Beijiang was only one of them. Brother Wolf is still the most open-minded one. He knows the importance of the matter, and when can't he take revenge? Obtaining the longevity fruit is the most important thing. If he can obtain 3 longevity fruit, he can immediately extend his lifespan by 30,000 years. At that time, even if he becomes a saint, he will still have a certain degree of hope. Another Thunder Retribution realm expert said, "However, that human clan Xiaoping is truly amazing. It is said that he is only at the returning true realm, but I never thought that he would be able to kill a Transcendence realm expert. He could even kill Lang Beijiang and the demon clan elites by his side." This human clan brat is not only strong in terms of combat strength, he is also very young. Until now, he is not even 30 years old. How is this possible? He's not even 30 years old. He's just a little kid to actually be able to advance to the returning true realm. Even if the human clan's cultivation speed is extremely fast, there's no reason for it to be like this. It can only be said that he is an unparalleled monster with the aptitude of a divine beast. No wonder Dark North Saint has never accepted a disciple, but he suddenly accepted this brat. In time, this human clan Xiaoping will definitely be a great enemy of my demon clan. It's better to get rid of him as soon as possible. They were experienced and knowledgeable, but they had never seen such a monstrous human like Xiaoping. They immediately viewed Xiaoping as their number one enemy, and killing intent arose in their hearts. If Xiaoping appeared in front of them, they would probably immediately kill him and get rid of this scourge of the human clan. Don't worry, sooner or later, this old man will kill him. No one can kill my son and get away with it. Wolf Clan leader Wolf Garen's eyes revealed a cold light, his killing intent awe-inspiring. As a werewolf, it was cunning and cruel by nature. It would seek revenge for the smallest grievance and was extremely vengeful. Once it started to hate someone, it would be a lifelong matter, the kind that would not rest until one of them died. Right now, it was just hiding its hatred. Once it resolved all the matters here, it would be the death of the human race's Xiaoping. It would be best to get rid of him quickly. Let's go, don't delay here. Otherwise, if others discover this small world and compete with us for the treasures, it will be a little troublesome, another Thunder Tribulation Realm expert said in a deep voice. Chapter 1706. The news of Lang Beijiang being killed by Xiaoping spread quickly. In less than half a day, it had basically spread throughout the entire heaven-accessing secret realm and was known by countless cultivators. The young master of the wolf race, Lang Beijiang, was killed by a human. I think he's called Xiaoping. Xiaoping? Where did he come from? I've never heard of him. What abilities does he have? You actually haven't even heard of Xiaoping. You're really ignorant. This is the latest news. He is the last disciple of the Heaven and Earth sect's Dark North Saint, a peerless genius of the human race. Previously, he advanced to the returning Truth Realm and fought with the three elders of the Heaven and Earth sect at the Transcendence Realm. In the end, he won and had an overwhelming advantage. I've heard of this before. At that time, I thought that the elders of the Heaven and Earth sect were fake and not worth mentioning. They were actually defeated by a junior at the returning Truth Realm. It's really laughable, but I didn't expect this Xiaoping to be so savage. He even killed the young master of the wolf race, Lang Beijiang. This strength is not something that can be described as fake. So powerful, it seems that he must have great luck. He is one of the heroes of the human race, a saint's seed. Such a person must be killed, and his treasures and luck must be plundered. Of course we must kill him. If such a monster stays in the human race, I'm afraid he will become an invincible saint in the future. Then, will our other races still be able to survive? Won't we have to live under the nose of the human race every day? Indeed, such a human is a scourge. We must kill him immediately. When we see this kid, kill him immediately. Don't talk nonsense with him. In a heaven-accessing secret realm, countless experts heard of this news and also knew of Xiaoping's achievements. Killing the young master of the wolf race, Lang Beijiang, had truly shocked them. After all, the young master of the wolf race, Lang Beijiang, was very famous. He had killed his way out of mountains of corpses and seas of blood. In the Western universe, who didn't know of Lang Beijiang's savagery? However, such a ferocious person was killed by Xiaoping and couldn't even escape. They immediately became extremely vigilant and hostile towards Xiaoping. Of course, the cultivators who could enter the heaven-accessing place were either peerless geniuses or people with great luck. Such people were all arrogant and ambitious. Who would be willing to bow down to others? Once they saw Xiaoping, they would definitely fight him to a draw. It would be best if they could kill this human and use his head to make a name for themselves in the universe. At this time, Xiaoping killed Lang Beijiang and the others and collected all their treasures, especially the scorching Skyfire formation, It was formed from numerous formation flags, and it formed a great formation of heaven and earth. It absorbed the energy of dimensional flames and erupted with boundless might, and it was no small matter. Furthermore, Lang Beijiang and the others hadn't raised the array's power to its limit. If they had poured in endless strange flames, the array's power would have increased by more than 10 times. Even Thunder Tribulation eminences would find it troublesome and wouldn't dare to face it head-on. Not a bad treasure. Xiaoping was very satisfied. He put away the 108 formation flags and used them at the critical moment. He believed that they could play the role of a trump card, killing countless enemies and creating outstanding results. Wolf Race's patriarch, Lang Garen, is Lang Beijiang's father, Thunder Tribulation Eminence. He might come for revenge. At this time, he received a message from the sect master. However, he didn't care. He would deal with it as it came. He had encountered all kinds of dangers, and it wasn't like he hadn't killed Thunder Tribulation Eminences before. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Just as Xiaoping wanted to leave this place, a group of figures suddenly flew over from the distance. They broke through the air and quickly arrived at this place. There were at least 100 of them. These people were all human race geniuses. They had powerful auras and were at least at the returning nature realm. There were even dozens of Transcendence Realm experts. Xiaoping narrowed his eyes as he looked at this group of uninvited guests. The strongest among them was a powerful cultivator at the peak of the Transcendence Realm. She was a beautiful and pure woman dressed in white like a fairy. She was like a snow-white lotus that was untainted by dust. She was holy and beautiful, and it was as though she could be purified just by looking at her. He also knew this woman. She was the Lingyun sect's saintess, Yi Mengyao. He didn't expect to see Yi Mengyao in this place. However, thinking about it carefully, Yi Mengyao was also a peerless genius and a peak Transcendence Realm expert. She had countless secret treasures in the heaven-accessing secret realm. It wasn't surprising for her to come to this place. It seems that we came too late. The battle is already over. A Transcendence Realm expert looked around and seemed to be very regretful. They had sensed a strong battle fluctuation here, so they quickly rushed over to see what was going on. These people even had other thoughts. They thought that they could take the opportunity to kill the strong enemy and obtain the treasures. They didn't expect it to end before they arrived. Should we kill this kid? The treasure light on his body is thick. One look, and you can tell that he is a person with many treasures. After killing him, there will definitely be a great harvest. Another middle-aged man in black had a greedy look in his eyes. He stared at Xiaoping with a murderous look. It seemed that he wanted to kill Xiaoping and steal the treasures. His body emitted a viper's aura, which made people shudder. Stop it. If you want to die, I won't stop you. At this time, Yi Mengyao spoke, her face expressionless. Yi Mengyao, what do you mean? Many people looked at Yi Mengyao. Hee, this kid can't be your lover, right? Why are you so protective of him? If he is, I naturally have to give some face to Missy. The middle-aged man in black laughed. He is Xiaoping, the Cosmos sect's Dark North Saint's last disciple. I believe that you have received the news just now. He alone killed Lang Beijiang and the other elites of the demon race. Do you think that you can defeat Lang Beijiang and kill all his friends? Yi Mengyao looked at the middle-aged man in black with a smile that wasn't a smile. What? Hearing this, all the cultivators present were shocked. Of course, they had also received the news and knew that something earth-shattering happened in the heaven-reaching secret realm. The Wolf Clan's young master, Lang Beijiang, and the others were killed as soon as they entered. And the person who killed them was the Cosmos sect's true disciple, Xiaoping, the Dark North Saint's disciple. However, they didn't expect that it would be such a coincidence that they would meet the Cosmos sect's peerless monster in this place. Immediately, many people gave up. They didn't dare to offend such a peerless monster unless they had a Thunder Retribution Realm expert by their side. Unfortunately, they didn't have one. Chapter 1707. Junior Brother Xia, how have you been? I didn't expect to see you again. Yi Mengyao looked at Xiaoping with a complicated expression. She remembered that the first time she saw Xiaoping was in the Heaven and Earth sect. Something unpleasant had happened then. She knew that this guy wasn't an ordinary person and would become a powerhouse sooner or later. Who would have thought that this day would come so quickly? In just a few years, he could already kill a Transcendence Realm powerhouse. This cultivation speed was simply unimaginable. So, it's Senior Sister Yi. We actually met here. We are indeed fated. Why don't we get married? Xiao Ping suggested. You're the Lingyun sect's saintess, and I'm Dark North Saint's disciple. We're both extremely talented. If we get together, we'll definitely give birth to the strongest descendant. He looked at Yi Mengyao eagerly. What? Hearing this, Yi Mengyao was completely stunned. She had never encountered such a thing before. They had just met, and someone had proposed to her. Bullshit. Without waiting for Yi Mengyao to speak, a man in white jumped out from the side. He seemed to be Yi Mengyao admirer. He was flustered and exasperated. Who do you think you are? You still want to marry Miss Yi? This is a toad eating swan meat. When will it be your turn? Don't talk nonsense here. He was the direct disciple of the Five Element sect, Ein Shirshing. He was the 28th disciple of the Five Element Saint, and an early-stage Transcendence Realm powerhouse. He had fallen in love with Yi Mengyao at first sight and had been pursuing her passionately. Although Yi Mengyao kept rejecting him, he wasn't discouraged and pursued her relentlessly. Thus, when he saw that someone dared to propose to Yi Mengyao and wanted to snatch her away, he was furious. He immediately regarded Xiao Ping as his greatest enemy and his hatred sword. Ugly guy, I'm proposing to Senior Sister Yi. What does it have to do with you? Scram, don't be a hindrance here. Xiao Ping gave Ein Shirshing a nickname and waved his hand as if he was shooing away flies. Who the King ugly guy is? Tell me clearly. Ein Shirshing was furious. He could feel his temples bulging, and he almost couldn't control his impulse to fly into a rage. To be honest, he felt that he was quite handsome. It was just that his chin was a bit big, and he had no other flaws. Why do I have to tell you clearly? You don't know yourself. Xiao Ping looked at Ein Shirshing with disdain. Hearing this, Ein Shirshing was even more furious. No matter what, I will not agree to this marriage. You are not worthy of Yi Mengyao. Why not? Xiao Ping blinked his eyes. In terms of background, I'm the last disciple of the Dark North Saint and the future leader of the Tranquil sect. How many people in the Eastern universe have a stronger background than me? In terms of wealth, although I can't be said to be as rich as a country, I can still be considered rich. I can live a carefree life. Even the total wealth of a Thunder Tribulation Realm powerhouse can't compare mine. In terms of potential, in terms of talent, I reached the returning nature realm before the age of 30. I am the seed of a future sage. In terms of appearance, there's no need to talk about it. Everyone can see it with their own eyes, and they all have a good reputation. Hearing this, the corners of Corinne's mouth twitched. He felt that this fellow's biggest advantage was having a thick face. He reckoned that even a Star Destroyer cannon wouldn't be able to pierce through it, and its defense was comparable to a sacred tool. After listening to these words, Ein Shirshing's heart turned cold. In comparison, this fellow was simply tall, rich, and handsome. Moreover, he was the strongest kind. If such a person went to the Lingyun sect to propose marriage, then it would be terrible. Maybe the Yi family would happily betroth Yi Mengyao to him and form an eternal friendship. Moreover, for the Lingyun sect, it was also a great thing. The Chinquan sect and the Lingyun sect joining hands, a strong alliance. No matter how one looked at it, this was the icing on the cake. Who could refuse? Junior brother Xia, I appreciate your kindness, but I have no plans to get married now. Yi Mengyao was speechless and rejected Xiao Ping's proposal without hesitation. Although Xiao Ping's conditions were good, he wasn't her type. It's fine if you don't want to get married. Just *CK me and give birth to a child. I don't ask for much. Xiao Ping rolled his eyes and made another proposal. *CK. This is fine. The surrounding people were all dumbfounded. He dared to raise such a condition. He was really bold. Was he not afraid of Yi Mingyao's rage and being beaten up? Who dared to say such things to the saintess of the Lingyun sect? Ein Shirshing was so angry that his face turned green. He wanted to beat this brat up. He actually dared to blaspheme his goddess. He was simply tired of living. Yi Mengyao clenched her teeth. She was so angry that she almost couldn't maintain her fairy-like demeanor. She wanted to rush over and teach Xiaoping a lesson. He said he didn't ask for much. If he didn't ask for much, then what else could he ask for? Moreover, she wanted to give birth to this brat's child. Who did he think she, Yi Mengyao, was? A birthing machine? It was the right decision not to marry this bastard. If she really did marry him, wouldn't she have to give birth to 8 or 10 children? That would be terrible. Although she was angry, Yi Mingyao's face was still very calm. Her beautiful eyes turned and revealed a myriad of flirtatious expressions. She said, "It's not impossible. I have a great enemy in my life. His name is Wu Wudi. He does all kinds of evil. I hate him to the bone. If you can capture Wu Wudi or kill him, then it's not impossible for me to agree to this condition of yours." She put forward her own condition and diverted the trouble. When the surrounding people heard Yi Mingyao's words, they were first shocked. They didn't expect Yi Mengyao to really agree to Xiaoping's condition. However, when they heard the latter part of her words, they immediately laughed. How is this a condition? It was basically a refusal. After all, that demon Wu Wudi was extremely cruel. The number of living beings he killed was equivalent to planets. Many Thunder Tribulation Realm experts had died in his hands. Recently, he had even passed the Panwu Saint's trial tower. His strength and potential were terrifying. Such a person wasn't that easy to kill. He might even be killed instead. Moreover, such a demon appeared and disappeared mysteriously. It was impossible to find him even if one wanted to. Wu Wudi? Who is he? Forget it. No matter what his background is, he offended you, right? That's a dead end. I promise to capture him soon. Xiaoping patted his chest, full of confidence. Corinne and Green Ox were speechless. Capture my ass. Wu Wudi was himself. Was he supposed to just let himself be captured without a fight? This was clearly a thief calling out a thief. What an ignorant fellow. Yin Shishing and the others sneered. When this fellow found out what kind of person Wu Wudi was, he would probably regret agreeing to this. They were all looking forward to Xiaoping's expression when he found out what kind of person Wu Wudi was. Would he look like he had lost his parents? That's good. I'll wait and see. Chapter 1708. After a period of time, Xiaoping became familiar with the people around Yi Mengyao and found out their identities. This group of people were basically the direct disciples of the various saint-level sects in the Eastern universe, or the descendants of some ancient family. All of them had extraordinary statuses and outstanding talents. They had their own channels. After obtaining the heavenly token, they gathered together and moved together. After all, the cultivators that entered the heavenly secret realm were as many as the clouds in the sky. Even the Thunder Tribulation Realm-s were not safe, and if they were surrounded, they would be killed if they were not careful. Therefore, they formed groups and planned to explore the heavenly secret realm to obtain treasures. Brother Xia, since we're chatting so well, why don't we move together? It just so happens that we found a secret realm world in front of us. There might be longevity fruit inside, so we can go and explore it. Yin Shishing rolled his eyes. He changed his previous bad attitude and became extremely enthusiastic. Secret realm world? Xiaoping blinked his eyes and looked at Yin Shishing. Yes, according to my observations, that secret realm world was created after a tyrannical saint fell. There must be a great secret in this kind of secret realm world. Yin Shishing's eyes revealed a greedy look. He was not lying. Every secret realm world formed by a saint basically contained a large amount of the saint's essence. There would be many secret treasures in this small world, and there might even be a saint's inheritance. Even a saint's natal magic treasure could appear in this secret realm world. Once such a mystic realm appeared, countless cultivators would flock to it in hopes of obtaining treasures. Of course, this kind of secret realm was also very dangerous. After all, this was a world formed after the death of a saint. The resentment and death aura left behind would transform into terrifying ghosts and evil spirits that could not be killed. Once they encountered these vengeful spirits, even the Thunder Tribulation realm would be in danger. There's such a thing? I didn't expect you to think of me, even though you were a little ugly. Brother Ian, although you're a little ugly, you're still very kind. Good people will be rewarded. Xiaoping said loudly. Ian Shirshing bared his teeth. He didn't know why, but he had the urge to punch this bastard's face. This bastard's words were full of thorns. He never said anything nice. However, he still endured it and said, Of course, Brother Xia. After all, your future is limitless. I hope to curry favor with you. I hope that after you become rich, you can give me some pointers. I will be eternally grateful. However, he sneered in his heart. What bullsh asterisk T? I'm a successor disciple of the Five Elements sect, and I'm even a disciple of a sage. If I don't fawn over my eldest senior brother, why would I need to fawn over a junior like you? You're simply delusional. The reason why he said all of this was merely to deceive this fellow. His objective was to hope that this fellow would be able to enter the secret realm with them and act as the vanguard, acting as a scapegoat and blocking all the dangers. After all, although there were countless treasures in a secret realm like this, it was also extremely dangerous. There was a slim chance of survival, and only a few scapegoats could be safely explored. Obviously, this hothead Xiaoping was a very good scapegoat. He reckoned that this fellow would obediently take the bait as long as he fooled him a little. So that's how it is. You still have such ambitions. Follow me. As long as I have meat to eat, I'll give you soup to drink. Don't worry. Xiaoping patted his chest and acted like an elder, indicating that he would protect him. Follow you my ass. Hearing this, Ian Shirshing was furious. He was a dignified successor disciple of the Five Elements sect, a disciple of a sage, and had cultivated for thousands of years. He was an almighty transcendence realm cultivator. Why would he need to follow this bastard and be his lackey? This bastard was too arrogant. Just a few words of praise, and his nose was really going to fly to the sky. But this is also good. This kind of idiot is easy to fool. You still dare to fight with me. Ian Shirshing, for a woman. You really don't know life from death. In a while, you'll know what's called powerful. Then, thank you, Brother Xia. Although he felt aggrieved, he still showed a grateful look and acted like a proper lackey. However, because Ian Shirshing's acting was too good, the others who saw this scene were incomparably emotional. Ian Shirshing, successor disciple of the Five Elements sect, a disciple of a sage, actually wants to be Xiaoping's lackey? This is too embarrassing. Isn't he afraid that his sect will find out? Don't you have any dignity? Someone was dumbfounded. What do you know? This is Ian Shirshing's way of making a name for himself. Although he is a disciple of the Five Elements sage, there are too many disciples of the Five Elements sage. There are a total of 81 disciples, and he is just one of them. His talent is not the most outstanding, and it will be difficult for him to make a name for himself in the future. It doesn't make sense to say that becoming a disciple of a sage will make one a sage in the future. Even so, there is no need for him to bow and scrape like this and become someone's lackey. What do you know? This is Ian Shirshing's strength. He invests in the early stage and cozy up to Xiaoping in time. You have to know what kind of person Xiaoping is. Don't be fooled by his arrogance. He indeed has the ability to be arrogant. He reached the returning nature realm before the age of 30 and can kill almighty transcendence realm cultivators. This kind of talent is monstrous. Which disciple of a sage can compare to him? If such a person doesn't die, he will definitely become a sage. And Ian Shirshing saw this and immediately changed his attitude. He went up to flatter Xiaoping and kept sucking up to him, hoping to take good care of him after he becomes a sage. This is 100 times better than some fortuitous encounter. He is indeed a disciple of a sage. His temperament is top-notch. Before, he was a rival in love, but now he wants to be a brother. No one can change their attitude faster than him. He is born to be a lackey. To be honest, I'm not praising him. If he had a beautiful wife, he might have given her away for his own future. This is a man who can endure things that others can't. That is why he can become a talent and climb to this stage step by step. I heard that he is also a famous bootlicker in the Five Elements sect. Even Master is obedient to him. Awesome. Maybe this is also a kind of talent. There is nothing to be jealous of. Many cultivators whispered and discussed among themselves. They all looked at Ian Shirshing with admiration. Hearing these words, Yin Shishing's face turned as black as charcoal. He almost went crazy and had the urge to kill someone. Although these bastards were praising him on the surface, he still felt that something was amiss. When did he, Yin Shishing, become a famous bootlicker in the Five Elements sect? When did the rumors start spreading? Let's go, it's just up ahead. However, Yi Mingyao did not care about these words. Her face was expressionless as she walked in front. For the current her, what she wanted to do the most was to explore that mysterious secret realm and obtain treasures. If he could obtain the longevity fruit, that would be for the best. So. Chapter 1709. It's this place. After flying for half an hour, Yi Mingyao and the others finally arrived at a valley. In front of the valley, there seemed to be a huge black door of light standing there. It was deep and dark, and no one knew where it was connected to. Faint roars of demons could be heard. The valley seemed to be enveloped by a powerful energy, forming a huge enchantment. It was like a world barrier that ordinary forces could not break through. Let's go in. Yi Mingyao and the others were very excited. They could sense that the door of light was indeed connected to a secret plane world. This place emitted great spatial fluctuations that made their hearts palpitate. Of course, they could also sense great danger, but danger also meant opportunity. Perhaps there were countless secret treasures waiting for them to explore. Xiaoping took a look and walked in without hesitation. Seeing this, the others followed in one after another. Whoosh! In the next second, everyone immediately passed through the black door of light, through a spatial tunnel, and finally arrived at the other space of the door of light. They stood on a piece of black soil. This secret plane world is very strange. Xiaoping squinted his eyes. He looked into the distance and found that the surrounding tens of thousands of miles was a barren area. There were barren mountains and deserts everywhere. There was no sign of life at all. There was even a terrifying demonic aura in the depths of the soil. It seeped deep into the soil and formed abyssal swamps. It was like they were in the world of the abyss. But other than the abyssal aura, there was a golden sun in the sky. The Buddha's light shone, and it was filled with bright, righteous, and benevolent Buddhist aura, dispelling all darkness. The demonic aura on the ground immediately made sizzling sounds when they were shown by the light. It was as if they were completely purified, and they let out shrill roars. This world where demons and Buddhas coexisted was extremely strange, but it was like yin and yang, opposing each other and coexisting. It was unbelievable. I know. This is a world that was born after the fall of a Buddhist sage. That's why this world is filled with such a strong Buddhist aura. It's bright, peaceful, and peaceful. Yi Mingyao's beautiful eyes lit up. But if this is a world where a Buddhist sage died, demons should not exist. But this place is filled with such a strong demonic aura that seems to be able to compete with the Buddha's light. Xiaoping asked, if I'm not mistaken, this world should have been formed after the fall of the Buddhist sect sage, Suvartala. Yi Mingyao said in a deep voice, rumor has it that in the ancient battle with the abyss demons, he and an extremely terrifying demon saint from the abyss died together. Before he died, he made a great wish to suppress all the abyss demons in the world. In the end, 9,999 trillion demons were suppressed by him here. There are also rumors that the abyssal demon, supremacy mental demon, is actually not dead, but is suppressed in this mystic realm, unable to be resurrected forever. She explained that Paragon Subhadhara was actually the youngest saint of Buddhism. His talent was unparalleled, and Subhadhara also had the meaning of virtuous, sage, and so on. This was a great compliment. It was said that at the age of 120, he had successfully cultivated the 6 great divine arts of Buddhism, namely the heavenly eye, heavenly ear, heavenly heart, fate, will, and God feet. His dharma had reached a profound realm. If he was still alive, Paragon Subhadhara would definitely be an invincible saint. In other words, this mystic realm contains supreme secrets, and there might be treasures left behind by the Buddhist sect saints, or even inheritances of saints. Yin Shishing and the others' eyes lit up They were very excited. Look at that place. Yi Meng Yao pointed far away. Everyone immediately looked over, trying their best to look into the distance. They could sense 5 towering mountains that seemed to be hundreds of thousands of zhang tall, so tall that they couldn't see the end of it. And when these 5 mountains were placed together, they looked like 5 fingers, showing a faint gold color containing a holy aura. That's the 5-finger mountain, Yi Meng Yao said in a deep voice. It is said that after Paragon's Subhadhara fell, it formed a sealing divine art of Buddhism, suppressing countless powerful abyss demons. Maybe supremacy mental demon is also suppressed there. It is the core of this mystic realm. If we go there, we might be able to gain something. But we also have to be very careful. This place suppresses countless abyss demons. There is danger everywhere. If we are targeted by the abyss demons, we will most likely be doomed. She warned everyone about the danger of this place. Rumble, at this moment, a series of rumbling sounds came from afar. Demonic winds blew, sweeping up a terrifying black storm. A terrifying demonic aura spread, as though the entire sky was covered by darkness. Damn, there are abyss demons coming. Seeing the sky full of dark clouds, Yin Shishing and the others' expressions changed drastically, as though they had eaten a dead mouse. They could sense the terror of the dark clouds. It was a meteorological phenomenon formed by the gathering of countless abyss demons. Just within the range of their divine senses, there were at least hundreds of thousands of abyss demons, and each of them was extremely powerful, at least at the Golden Core realm. There were also some Restoration realm and Transcendence realm demon leaders, such as Goathorn demons, Bullhorn demons, Poison demons, 3-headed demons, and many others. This was basically a majestic army of monsters and demons. Clearly, these abyss demons had also sensed the aura of Xiaoping and the others. Kiki, humans, there are actually humans in this place. Oh my god, this is such a familiar aura, such a fragrant aura, such a yearning feeling. Could it be that the heavens pity us abyss demons and send such food into our mouths? This is great. It has been 5,000 years, a full 5,000 years, and not a single life form has entered this mystic realm. Who would have thought that humans would enter now? This is our luck. God knows how many years we've been trapped in this place by that damn bald donkey, unable to leave. We don't even know what the taste of humans is like. We are tortured by that bald donkey every day and night. This time, we must kill and eat our fill. Kill, kill, kill. Kill all these humans, leave none alive. Don't fight with me. These humans belong to me. Die, all of you die. When the numerous abyss demons saw Xiaoping and the others, they were like humans who had not eaten or drunk for 3 days and 3 nights. Their eyes were bloodshot, and they almost went crazy. They charged at them like hungry wolves. Chapter 17:10. Run, run quickly. There are too many demons. We can't fight them. Yin Shishing and the others were trembling. They were already thinking of retreating. There were too many demons. Just looking at them with the naked eye, there were more than 1 million of them. There were even more demons coming from afar. This number was at least 10 times that of what they had now. How could they fight against so many demons? Even if they could kill some, they would be drowned by the rest of the demons. They would be killed without a corpse. Although they already knew that this secret plane was extremely dangerous, they didn't expect it to be this dangerous. They had just entered and they were already facing a disaster. Retreat, retreat immediately. Retreat from here. This secret plane is too dangerous. It's not a place we can come to. Some people wanted to immediately run. They sensed great danger, and they felt that staying in this secret realm that was like an abyss was playing with their little lives. This was no different from courting death. Not good. We can't retreat. The light door has disappeared. We can't go back. Someone screamed. They realized that the black light door behind them had disappeared without a trace. It was as if it had cut off their way out. There was no way to escape. How is this possible? Isn't this a permanent passage? Why did it disappear? If that's the case, how do we leave this damn place? Are we trapped here forever? Yin Shishing and the others were completely crazy. They thought they could safely retreat from this secret plane. Who would have thought that the door would disappear as soon as they entered? They couldn't even retreat. No, this isn't a permanent passage. It's a temporary passage, Yi Ming Yao said in a low voice. In fact, secret planes created by sages like this basically don't have permanent passages. There are only occasional spatial nodes that allow outsiders to enter this place. If this mystic realm doesn't open a spatial passageway on its own, ordinary people can't enter it. So, even if people know of the existence of this mystic realm, not many can find its specific location. They can only rely on luck. Cut the crap. I don't want to know these useless things. Someone shouted, I just want to know how to leave this damn place. Is there any way? There are only two ways. Yi Ming Yao stretched out 2 fingers. The first is to obtain the inheritance of the saint here. If you get the approval of the saint, then the entire secret realm will recognize you as its master and automatically open the passage. The second option was to wait. Wait for the secret plane to randomly open a spatial passageway, and then take the opportunity to leave. Of course, this required luck, and it might not happen even after thousands of years. Of course, there's a third method, and that is to use a powerful spatial magic treasure that can forcibly break open the spatial world and leave this place. However, such a magic treasure is too precious. I believe that none of you have it. Hearing this, Yin Shishing and the others despaired, their faces ashen. It was possible that they would have to stay in this secret realm for the rest of their lives, unable to leave this damned place. Retreat my ass. It's just a bunch of demons. They're just 2 or 3 chicks. Everyone, follow me. Let's destroy this bunch of trash. At this moment, Xiaoping jumped out and shouted. Yin Shishing and the others looked at Xiaoping as if they were looking at an idiot. Attack my guess. Didn't you see that there were more than 1,000,000 demons? Just their saliva alone could drown them. How are they going to fight? Were they going to die? However, Xiaoping did not care about what the others thought. He waved his hand and immediately threw out the 108 grand scorching fire formation flags that he had just obtained. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Immediately, the formation flags flew out and stood on the ground within a radius of 1,000 miles. Instantly, they formed a huge formation, devouring the power of the fire in the depths of the void. Xiaoping activated the mana in his 9th sea of consciousness and infused the power of his mystical fire into it. The essence of the sun, the fire of life, the fire of drought, the fire of earth spirit, the dragon flame, the angel flame, the star flame, and the hell golden crow flame all surged into the grand scorching fire formation at the same time. Rumble, with the replenishment of the power of the 8 great mystical fires, the grand scorching fire formation seemed to have eaten all kinds of supplements. It was operating at a crazy speed, increasing the power of the formation to the extreme. Vaguely, many dimensional passageways appeared in the void. It seemed that the formation was operating to the extreme and had already connected to the fire dimensional space, devouring a large amount of fire energy. What kind of formation is this? Yin Shishing and the others widened their eyes. They saw the terrifying energy gathering in the center of the formation when the formation was activated. The flames actually condensed into countless monsters. Some were drought demons that were dozens of feet tall. They roared and emitted an ominous, cursed, and evil aura. Some are golden crows of hell. They shrieked at the sky and spread their wings. They were filled with holy, ancient, and chaotic energy. Some were angels that were extremely holy. They had 12 wings and emitted a holy, purifying, and destructive light. Some were fire dragons that were born from the depths of the flames. They were brewing a terrifying dragon's might. The moment the monsters formed by the flames appeared, they charged towards the group of demons from the abyss. The area within a radius of 1,000 miles turned into a world of flames. It was filled with extremely high temperature. Even the rocks were melted into a liquid state and turned into magma. Bang, bang, bang. The demons from the abyss thought that they could start a massacre and kill Xiaoping and the others before eating their fill. Who would have thought that before they could even get close, they would be hit in the head? Instantly, countless demons from the abyss were hit by the power of the extraordinary flames. Their organs were burned, and they all screamed in pain. That was because the extraordinary flames had a great restraining effect on them. It was especially so for the extraordinary flames like the sun essence and the angel flame. They were the nemesis of these creatures of darkness. In a few breaths, more than half of the demons from the abyss were dead. Oh my God, what a powerful formation. This is the Grand Scorching Sky fire formation. I know of its existence, but is it really that powerful? It's too terrifying. Killing the demons from the abyss is like roasting chicken. They are all roasted. The power of an ordinary Grand Scorching Sky fire formation isn't so terrifying. However, Xiaoping has instilled a huge amount of extraordinary flames into it, raising the strength of the formation by several levels. Naturally, its power is boundless, as expected of a disciple of a sage. He actually has such means. Stop talking nonsense. Help kill these demons from the abyss immediately. Chapter 17:11. Yin Shishing and the others were indeed geniuses. They attacked like dragons, shooting out beams of terrifying light that tore through the void. The demons were sliced into dozens of pieces like tofu. In an instant, tens of thousands of demons died in their hands. But the most terrifying was still Yi Mengyao. She held a bow, and her entire body shone with blue light. She was like a dazzling star that absorbed the power of the stars. She knocked an arrow and shot at the demons. Instantly, countless arrows rained down from the sky, turning into countless starlight raindrops that covered 100 miles. But these raindrops contained lethal, killing intent. They exploded with terrifying sharpness and fell from the sky, instantly killing tens of thousands of demons. She was simply a Valkyrie of the battlefield. With her bow in hand, those abyss demons couldn't even get within 10 miles of her. Often, they would be shot dead from 100 miles away. Of course, the one who killed the most demons was naturally Xiaoping. He used the heavenly scorching inferno formation to communicate with the fire-dimensional power. With the help of his 8 strange flames, he raised the power of his flames to the extreme. The area within 1,000 miles became a fiery hell. Almost 80% of the demons that entered were burned to death. Not even their corpses were left. Humans, damned humans. Ah, lowly humans, you dare to kill us demons like chickens. We cannot live under the same sky. Kill the human controlling the formation. We must kill him and destroy the formation. The other humans are nothing to be afraid of. Attack together and tear this human to pieces. Many of the abyss demons were enraged and were about to explode. They had thought that this would be a feast of slaughter, a one-sided slaughter that would allow them to have a full meal. But who would have thought that this human was so terrifying? He set up a formation that obstructed their movements. Most of the demons were burned to death. The other stragglers were also killed like chickens. This was a one-sided massacre by the human. They were on completely different sides. How could they accept this? The demons were infuriated and attacked Xiaoping. They wanted to kill the culprit and take revenge. Fools, don't you know who is the strongest in this group? Die, all of you. A cold light flashed in Xiaoping's eyes. He didn't use the power of the formation at all. He rushed forward and clenched his fists. He punched out, causing the air to tremble. Bang! An early-stage Law Phase Realm ox-horn demon let out a shrill scream. Its body was immediately penetrated by the fist and exploded into pieces. Blood and flesh splattered everywhere. Dong, dong, dong. But this was just the beginning. Xiaoping's figure flickered. Every time he punched, there would be an abyss demon that was killed, its body exploding on the spot. The entire battlefield resounded with the sound of war drums. When the war drums stopped, all the abyssal demons within tens of li of Xiaoping were dead, their bodies torn apart. With Xiaoping's body as the center, the area within 100 miles had turned into an azure battlefield. The flesh and blood of the abyss demons were everywhere. Blood flowed like a river, and the entire area was the color of blood. Damn, how can the Xiaoping be so strong? This brute force is too shocking. Even the death of a giant dragon can't compare to this. Oxhorn demons are born with divine strength. Their defense is like a superior-grade spiritual armor. Ordinary magic treasures can't break it, but he punched through it with one punch and stomped it into meat paste. He's too fierce. Previously, I doubted whether Brother Xia could defeat a Law Phase realm expert. Now, it seems that it's not just a simple victory. It's not difficult to kill them either. If he wants to kill me, he only needs one punch. Everyone was shocked. Seeing Xia Ping's battle record, they couldn't help but shudder. Such tyrannical combat power shocked them quite a bit. Especially Yin Shirshing. He was the most shocked and felt it the deepest. After all, he was extremely talented and cultivated with a sage. Not to mention his cultivation, his insight was definitely top-notch. He could feel that Xia Ping's punches and kicks weren't as simple as brute force. They seemed to contain the power of destruction, the power of whirlpools, and other terrifying power techniques. This was the realm of breaking all laws with one punch. Ordinary people couldn't comprehend it. Any divine power could be destroyed with one punch. Invulnerable to all laws and invincible evil. This was an extremely shocking martial Dao realm. Xia Ping. Yi Mingyao also looked deeply at Xia Ping as if she wanted to see through his secrets. She didn't know why, but she had a feeling that they had known each other for a long time. Whether it was martial skills or the way he spoke, they were all very familiar. But when she thought about it carefully, she couldn't think of anything. Whoosh. Xia Ping didn't care about what others thought. He was circulating his qi gong and devouring the soul energy around him. It had to be said that the soul energy contained in these abyssal demons was much stronger than that of humans. The soul energy left behind by each abyssal demon was astonishing. He devoured this soul energy and made it his own. He strengthened his primordial spirit and magic power. He could feel the magic power in the depths of his purple palace rising rapidly. It was equivalent to years of bitter cultivation. Looks like I have to find a chance to enter the abyss world. If I can kill countless abyssal demons at once, it will definitely greatly increase my cultivation speed. Xia Ping opened his eyes and exhaled. His entire body felt comfortable and his blood was boiling. He felt that he had obtained great benefits from killing these abyssal demons. His magic power increased and his primordial spirit became stronger. This made his heart palpitate. If he entered the abyss world again, his cultivation would probably advance by leaps and bounds. But at this moment, there was a burst of air-piercing sound around him. Tyrannical auras broke through the air and arrived at this place in an instant. Hundreds and thousands of figures appeared. And Xia Ping narrowed his eyes and looked at these uninvited guests. All of them were extremely powerful. They were at least experts at the peak of the returning nature realm. There were many Transcendence realm experts. It was probably the fluctuations from his battle with the abyssal demons that attracted these cultivators. After all, it seemed that it wasn't just Yin Shirshing and the others who entered this mystic realm by chance. There were also other cultivators. They actually killed all these abyssal demons. This group of people is quite capable. Many cultivators were shocked when they saw this battlefield and the densely packed abyssal demon corpses on the ground. Look, isn't that kid Xia Ping from Qianquan's sect? Someone immediately recognized Xia Ping and shouted out loud. Xia Ping? The human who annihilated the Wolf Shell River actually appeared in this place. Heaven is helping me. Previously, the Wolf Clan's patriarch, Lang Garen, was furious and issued a bounty. Anyone who kills this human Xia Ping will receive endless rewards from the Wolf Clan. Tis TSK. Such a human genius must be killed. We definitely can't let him become a sage. Otherwise, how can our other races survive? Won't we be bullied for generations? Immediately inform the others and inform them that Xia Ping appeared here. Send experts over to surround and kill him. Chapter 17:12. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. As time passed, more and more people arrived and landed here. They were all elites from the various races in the universe. They stared at Xia Ping, attracting the greed of countless geniuses. This is the human Xia Ping? That's great. His head belongs to my Black Tiger clan. Scram. His head belongs to my Violet race. You dare to snatch it? Do you want to start a war with us? Don't fight amongst yourselves. Let's attack together and kill this brat first. Then we'll divide his treasures. What we get will depend on our own abilities. Interesting. This is indeed a good solution. There's no need to fight here and let this human take advantage of us. Many geniuses of the various races pointed and pointed at Xiaoping, completely seeing him as their prey. They could kill him at any time and snatch away the treasures on him. In the depths of the void, countless divine wills intertwined with killing intent. However, they didn't casually attack. They seemed to be observing Xiaoping's flaws, waiting for a chance to deal a fatal blow. It's over. Why are there so many experts chasing us? Yin Shishing had never seen such a scene before when he saw so many geniuses from the various races surrounding him. This was like an ambush from 10 sides, and he was the target of a multitude of arrows. Even his legs were trembling in fear. After all, these cultivators were all geniuses of their races. They had treasures and countless methods. They were many times more terrifying than those abyssal demons. He was confident he could escape from the abyssal demons, but he wasn't confident he could survive against this group of cultivators. There's nothing to do. Brother Xia killed the wolf race's young master, Lang Beijiang, causing the wolf race's patriarch to be enraged. He issued a bounty for the 10,000 races to help hunt him down. Naturally, countless geniuses were tempted. Someone's expression was ugly. That's not all. Brother Xia's performance was too shocking. His talent is shocking. This caused the other races to be afraid and want to kill him. Of course, some geniuses didn't do it for the bounty. They just wanted to test Brother Xia's strength and take his head. Someone guessed. Damn, it was all this bastard's fault. Yin Shishing stared fiercely at Xiaoping. If it wasn't for this brat, how could they have provoked so many enemies? This also put them in a dangerous situation. His eyes flickered as he considered whether or not he should betray this brat and join the crusade against Xiaoping. If they were regarded as Xiaoping's accomplices, it would not be a good thing. They might even bring disaster to the fish pond. The others also had the same idea. They looked at each other and intertwined their divine senses. They seemed to be discussing what to do next and how to advance or retreat. At this time, Xiaoping stood up and sneered, "A bunch of useless things want to kill me? Have you considered your own abilities? Trash like you, I'll kill as many as you come. Furthermore, I'm not alone. I have many henchmen and friends all over the world. If you want to deal with me, have you asked my friends, Yin Shishing and the others? Do you want to start a war with the human race?" He stood with his hands behind his back and looked at the group of uninvited guests with contempt. F***CK, this be *TCH, why did you have to touch my sore spot? Hearing these words, the faces of Yin Shishing and the others turned green. Originally, they wanted to abandon the darkness and join the light. But now that Xiaoping said so, how could they still betray him? Wouldn't this group of people immediately think that they were Xiaoping's henchmen? They would definitely be listed as the same target of attack. This bastard clearly wanted to drag them down with him. How shameless. So that's how it is. These people are all his accomplices. No wonder he's so arrogant. It's just 100 people. What's the big deal? There are thousands of us here, and there's an endless stream of reinforcements. It's not difficult to kill all of them. They're actually all his accomplices. Just kill them all. Killing one is the same. Killing 100 is the same. They're all human bastards. It's a good thing to kill them all. The eyes of the various races' geniuses were filled with ferocity. Killing intent covered Yin Shishing and the others. Clearly, they had already regarded Yin Shishing and the others as Xiaoping's accomplices. F***CK, they were really misunderstood. The remaining half of Yin Shishing and the others' faces turned green. They were extremely sullen. They were just strangers who met by chance. How were they accomplices? Weren't they implicating the fish in the pond? This had nothing to do with them. Why did they have to find trouble with them? Was there still justice in this world? Someone wanted to speak up and explain to these geniuses that they had nothing to do with Xiaoping and had no intention of getting involved in such troublesome matters. But before he could speak, Xiaoping took a step forward and shouted, "If you want to kill my sworn brothers, Yin Shishing and the others, have you asked for my permission? If you want to kill them, You have to step over my dead body first. But with your mediocre martial arts, you're not qualified to be so arrogant in front of us." He put on a loyal expression and stepped forward to protect Yin Shishing and the others. Yin Shishing and the others were extremely sullen. They couldn't say anything because they had already been spoken to like this. How could they say something unrelated to their martial arts? How could they dare to betray Xiaoping? How could they dare to flee in the face of battle? No matter what, they were all descendants of the great clans of the Eastern Cosmos or true disciples of Saint class sections. If they chose to betray Xiaoping today, it would be equivalent to betraying the human race. They would stab others in the back and help outsiders. Such a reputation would be thoroughly tarnished in the human race. Who would dare to associate with them? Even if their elders knew of this matter, they would have a bad impression of them. Such a bad reputation would definitely affect their future prospects. They would be pointed at and condemned by everyone. If they were disciples of the demonic path, perhaps they wouldn't care so much about this so-called reputation. But they were from the righteous sections. Nothing was more important than reputation. This bastard, Yin Shishing, was furious. If he could, he simply wanted to stab Xiaoping to death with a knife. This bastard was actually so shameless, forcefully dragging these innocent people into the water, dragging them to die together with him. They had never seen such a shameless person before. He was completely shameless. I didn't expect these puny humans to be so loyal. I've really underestimated them. I originally wanted to sow discord and make them kill each other, but it seems that won't work now. If dirty tricks don't work, then let's do it openly. It's not a big problem to crush them head on. Since these humans are so united, then let's fulfill their wish. Kill them all. Leave none alive. Kiki, I like to kill stubborn humans the most. The geniuses of the various races were filled with murderous intent. Their expressions were unkind, and their murderous intent enveloped Xiaoping and the others. Clearly, they had already completely regarded Yin Shishing and the others as Xiaoping's sworn brothers. They wanted to kill them all together. Whoosh!